But welcome
Hey,
back.
ladies and
Wouldn't
gentlemen.
this would
Are we
probably be
recording
their?
right now?
We are.
Okay,
And if we
let's
go on
see.
for too long, I'm gonna leave all this in and not give a fuck.
Well, okay. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? How are you all today? Welcome back.
Yeah, answer in the comments how you are, and we won't read them.
Yeah. Yeah, we literally nothing will happen, but
I
I
mean,
like
I'll
what you did.
probably
How are you
respond.
doing?
Actually, you know what? For this one video, I will respond to each and every one. I will
Uh,
respond personally to each and every single one of you that comments how you're doing.
I'll ask you guys questions that you can't answer right now. Are you
Yeah.
drinking enough water? Did you eat today? I like what you're doing with your hair. Yeah. Yeah, you know who you are.
There you go. And
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know.
yep. Yep. I'm gonna
Also,
have
happy
to.
birthday. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, by the way.
Someone's birthday's today, or
Someone's birthday today, so.
yeah. I'm gonna have to answer each and every single one of these fucking comments when they come pouring in. Like after, in the year 2025, people are gonna come into episode 1 after like 300 episodes. They're just gonna be like, "Well, you said you'd answer each and every comment," and I'll just be
That should be
stuck
the
doing that.
ongoing the complaints should be put strictly any and all questions, concerns, or complaints. Please refer to episode 1. Strictly use the comment section on
Just
this
the comments
episode.
that's of episode 1.
Yeah, and if you don't, yeah,
I'll
nothing's
make
gonna
a
happen. Sorry.
yeah. I'll make it. That's gonna continue until I get circumcised.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into today's topic.
Let's get into today's topic of movies. I had one pina colada before
Movies.
this.
I had actually. I'm going to talk about this because my sister brought these home, and they're actually pretty interesting. Loyal cranberry cocktails.
Yeah, when I said pina colada, I meant like Smirnoff seltzer flavored pina colada bullshit, zero
That
sugar.
actually sounds really good, though.
It tasted a little bit it smelled more like pina colada than it tasted, honestly.
So, to anybody, any of you who can drink,
It smelled like coconut.
specifically 21 plus, if you listen to me right now, okay? If you are below the age of 21 and you're listening to this, and you're looking for drink recommendations, I know where you live. I will find you. Okay? Stop.
And that's a promise.
That is a Tristan 100% guarantee, ladies and gentlemen. But I actually started doing not Smirnoff, but Tito's.
Tito's.
You can get a little bit of ice in there if you want. You should probably do ice because if you don't, what the fuck's wrong with you? A little bit of Tito's, and then a little bit of anything Tropicana is actually pretty good. I do mango pineapple juice.
I still
Pretty
have to
good.
try this. I'm too fucking lazy when it comes to mixing drinks. I'll just buy whatever I want.
I do really simple stuff. It's not hard, but if you go out and you get Tropicana, mango pineapple juice, get a little bit of Tito's, do a little half and half.
Knowing
Rum's
me,
been my
I'd fuck it up somehow.
Nah, it's not too bad. I just do it just depends. Like if I have stuff to do, but if I want to drink, I'll put a little less in. If I have stuff to do and I do want to drink anyway, I'll put a whole lot of stuff in. Yeah, so movies. What
Movies.
exact movies are we talking about today?
Uh, Firstly, we're gonna talk childhood movies because I
Okay,
feel like
childhood
that's
movies.
a perfect window that kind of determines the kind of movies that you'll like into your adulthood, pretty much.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, no, lots and lots of movies
mm-hmm,
from the babyhood, the childhood, the teenhood, teen movies, Disney Channel
mm,
exclusive.
mm-hmm,
Um, for me, I have a few childhood movies besides the. A lot of people will say Disney,
mm-hmm.
and I did watch Disney, and I enjoyed Disney, but it definitely wasn't my favorite animated movies to watch specifically. I was more of a DreamWorks person. I liked El Dorado. I liked Chicken Run, Wallace and Gromit.
Those,
Um,
yeah.
the
Well,
claymation stuff was really really cool.
you see,
Spirit.
it's funny that Spirit's actually really good.
Spirit's a good
It's
one.
funny that you mentioned Chicken Run because
Well, I mentioned I also recommend it as well. So
Yeah, actually, yeah. Honestly, anybody who hasn't seen
Sequel's coming
Chicken
out,
Run, which is it really?
apparently.
I didn't know that at all.
Or I think
Actually,
it's being
that's
made.
that's
Might be a Hulu
in the
exclusive
middle of
thing.
in the middle of the world, in the state of the world that we're living in, it's the little things that keep you going.
Yeah,
And I did not know about that at all. So
like
that's
my
actually,
penis.
I see. You know what? It took me a second, but I see what you did there. Um, yeah, me too. Actually, that was. I paused way too long on that. But
That's funny.
um, but yeah, no, it's the little things that keep you going, and I did not know that
It's
sequel.
getting something. I think it's a sequel. I watched it recently. I watched it recently on Hulu because I have Hulu with Spotify, and I was
Mm,
just like, "Fuck!" I'll just see what Hulu has because I want to watch something. I want to watch something that I've seen before that I can just enjoy while I do something else. So I put on Chicken Run. I put on Spirit. I put on The Road to El Dorado again. So I named those three. I watched one movie that I liked a lot, and I feel like a lot of people haven't seen this one. It was one of those I think it's Don Bluth. One of those movies that it's called Rockadoodle.
Rockadoodle,
Yeah,
huh?
everyone I say every time I mention Rockadoodle, people are just like Rockadoodle, huh? Interesting.
Exactly as I said it as well.
Exactly as you said it. Like that is the genuine fucking census response I get when I mention Rockadoodle.
Well, it's weird. I've definitely heard the name,
It's
so it's like
about
I don't think I know it, but I've definitely heard the name.
it's about this like it's a weird mix of live action and cartoons.
Wait, I've never seen this, but I definitely know.
Specifically though at the beginning and the end. They did not keep it up after the beginning. Like they just went
Hmm.
full on like mix of the two for probably a minute.
It's just a little bit too expensive.
A
A
little
little
bit
bit
too
too expensive
expensive, and
for
you
us.
could tell because the ending scene where like the little boy the little boy that appears at the beginning of the movie is now in the cartoon world dancing with Chanticleer and his beautiful slut chicken girlfriend. Um dancing on the farm and singing, and it's like you can clearly see that it's not high fidelity um quality in that last final scene. It doesn't look good. I do like the song Sun Do Shine though. That's a one I like.
Yeah, this is about yeah, I mean, I'm assuming by the name Rockadoodle. It's the one about
The Elvis chicken, the
yeah,
Elvis
yeah,
rooster.
okay. I definitely know this
I
then. I
watched
definitely
that a whole lot. It came in a double pack with Pebble and the Penguin,
Pebble
and
and the Penguin.
I I I I think I watched Pebble and the Penguin once and then completely ignored it every subsequent playthrough because it's such a shit ass movie that I can't even really tell you what it's about. I watched
I'm
it.
gonna I'm gonna do like a super fast lightning round really quick now. Now, because like now that you're bringing up these movies, now I'm thinking about movies that I've really liked growing up,
Yeah,
and
go for
some of
it.
them, like up until you just mentioned them, I haven't thought about them in forever. So quick lightning round.
Yeah.
Um, if I could choose like three off the top of my head, well, some of these I've thought of, but Chicken Run, as we mentioned, The Little Vampire, um, The Iron Giant, which isn't really
Yeah, of
that's not that
course.
like
Everyone knows
yeah,
about that one. That one's a good one.
everybody knows that one. I'm trying to think if there's any more. Like, I don't really know if there's too many obscure movies I knew about growing up. There were a lot of animated movies I watched as a kid that I thought were Disney, but I think that was like everybody.
I thought
Everybody
that
had like that movie. You know what I thought was a Disney movie for the longest time as a kid?
what was that?
We're Back. A
Oh yeah,
dinosaur
that's
story,
not
a
even Don
dinosaur tale, whatever
Bluth.
it is.
That's not even Don Bluth.
Yeah,
It
that's
looks
the.
so Don Bluth though. It looks
I only
so Don Bluth, but it's not even Don Bluth apparently. I
I
think
only
he
remember it
might
because of
have
the
designed it, like the characters, maybe.
I'm gonna look. You know what? I'm actually gonna look it up right now.
Yeah,
I'm
look it
gonna
up
double
right
check
now
because
because I don't want to sound stupid as an animator, but I don't even. I think it's just a Steven Spielberg movie. Like
A
there's
Dinosaur Story is a 1993 British American animated film produced by Steven Spielberg's Amblimation Animation Studio.
yeah.
I have
See,
never heard that name.
I didn't even know that. I mean, I love that movie. That movie is great.
It's very
I mean, it's
telling
not
of
great,
oh,
but
well, actually well, that's funny. I never knew the name of the actual studio, but I know all of the movies that they well, the feature films at least.
what
An
do they
American
make?
Tail,
Oh,
Fievel Goes West,
Feifel.
Feifel,
Feifel goes
Feeble,
Feeble.
Feeble, Feeble.
Feeble,
That's
feeble.
here you go, guys. I'm gonna bastardize all these
Bastardized a fucking
pronunciations.
rat that goes to
We're
America.
we're back. A Dinosaur Story and
Hmm.
Balto, which
Balto. I like Balto.
Balto I don't remember. I remember watching Balto. I don't remember it well. I just remember that I remember there was like a goose, I think, and the
It was a
goose was
goose.
Russian,
Yes.
which I'm assuming was most likely a reference to Grey Goose, which I only bring up to bring it back to the drinks that we talked about earlier.
Except Goose is French.
Shit, you're right.
Grey Goose. Grey Goose is
Well,
French vodka.
shit, you're you're right.
Well,
So once again,
so bringing
here
it
we
back
go.
to
I'm gonna
movie
bringing it
animations,
back, bringing it back to the fact that I'm gonna
rolling back.
bastardize everything tonight.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm only I think I'm a little not tipsy, but I'm a little bit off, when a couple of words are gonna come out a little weird. And I'm just
Well,
gonna
you
have
see,
to deal
that's
with that. We're just gonna have to work through that together.
that's the thing though. Is like I'm not even tipsy, which is very sad.
I'm not even, but like my tongue is definitely like on a different page than my brain. I can feel it. I can feel that like my tongue and my brain are kind of like we're talking, but we're not like synchronized. We're not like Shinji and Asuka doing the funny dance on top of the angel's
Oh yeah,
face
when they played DDR.
when they played DDR and beat the shit out of that one angel. Yeah, that's a reference from an anime called
Neon Genesis Evangelion?
No, Evangelon. You have to pronounce it
You're
properly.
right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys.
You know the next movie is gonna
I'm
come
really
out.
messing it up. Is it soon? I heard that
3.0.
one of my buddies from college, my buddy Cam. Hi Cam, you're probably not listening to this, but if you are, hi. Um, he saw a preview of it, and he was like, "I don't like it," and I was like, "Oops,"
I didn't
you
see the
know.
trailer because I don't watch trailers, but it seems very Asuka focused.
Hmm. I'm fine with that. I mean,
Yeah. From what I've seen, I don't know. But yeah, no, I loved We're Back because I love dinosaurs and I love the idea of dinosaurs being in real life. Another movie I watched was Dinosaur, and I don't know anything about it that I can talk about because all I remember was that there were lemur monkeys at the beginning and there were dinosaurs.
there were in fact
I
dinosaurs.
did
I
actually meet up with a very attractive young woman while I was at Disney World Animal Kingdom, and we both
ooh.
went on the dinosaur ride single, and we just happened to get paired up, and like afterwards we were like talking, like we were talking in line, but we were talking afterwards, and like you get out in the gift shop, and as we were stepping out, like we were talking to each other, just having like a conversation or whatever. My family was like just kind of like waiting there, and after like a while I said bye, because I'm not gonna like stick around the whole time. I just kind of asked her like, oh, where you from, all that, and Disney and Disney World and whatever, and dinosaur trivia because I'm an animation major. And then like my family was just kind of watching me talk to this one girl, and as soon as like the conversation ended, like I bid her goodbye. I'm not really like it's Disney World. I have other shit to do. Um, she just kind of looked at me, as soon as I noticed they were there, I was kind of just like, let's move on.
I
Let's
don't
move
think
on.
I don't think I've ever had a situation where I've met up with. I notice we're kind of segueing back and forth to the movie thing, but I think it's still somewhat relevant, so it still works
It's
because
something to
Disney.
jump off of. Like so long as we're
I,
talking and we're
I
making
mean,
good content.
yeah, I mean Disney's still on the topic. So I don't think I've ever had a situation like that in Disney because my family's big Disney fans. We go out pretty often. Like, not to brag,
Yeah.
even though nobody's impressed with that. But I remember after a really bad breakup in like high school, I was on a trip to Canada and we went in from New York, I believe from New York, and we went all the way like we went past the you which that doesn't really make any sense, but for some reason I keep remembering going through New York
No, that makes
and
sense.
does it? Okay, because
Yeah.
like I feel like my memory is really foggy of this because it was like while I was still in high school,
Yeah.
and obviously I am not a high
From
schooler anymore.
Boston down to Florida, yeah, you could pass through New York if you want to.
Oh, you're right, you're right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm talking about Canada, so like I don't know why I keep thinking New York. Um, my memory is really foggy of this, so like I know that that's wrong. I probably am a little bit tipsy. I apologize, but I remember going to New York. We were on the Canada side of Niagara Falls, and this was after we went to actually see the falls, and we were walking down the trail that goes along the river that leads from the falls, like where the falls come down. You know where they, pardon me, but where the falls fall. Um,
Ooh.
and I walked by this
That was a
girl
good
who I
one.
was like,
That was a really good one.
dude,
I'm
I
impressed with
considered
that.
I should go into comedy. I should really go into
What do you
comedy.
think this is?
Shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Um, but I walked past this girl who's probably like my age, and I was like, oh, she's really cute. And I just remember she completely like eyed me down, and I didn't talk to this girl, but she like looked at me and just kind of like smiled, and she gave me like that. You guys know the look. You know the one I'm talking about. At one
Oh
point in
yeah,
your life, you've come across that look,
I've come
and
across it like twice this week.
this was well, that's good.
It's good, but it's weird because I'm a cashier, so you there's really not much you can do with that.
You're probably people are like, well, no, that actually is a good thing because honestly, and this isn't a stab at you, but it's like we both work bad retail jobs, and we're both
Yeah,
looking for jobs in a world in the middle of a pandemic where it's very hard to do so. So, in all honesty, people are probably seeing you at your worst, but it's like, dude, they haven't even seen you at your best yet. So,
that's
like,
true. That's true. They
that's
only see
that's
my eyes and my long eyelashes and think I wear mascara and
your
dress in drag.
beautiful glossy lips and your long
My
eyelashes
lips
and your
that are covered by the mask that I wear constantly.
yeah.
And also my nose ring that nobody can see and nobody has seen besides me.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah,
Well, maybe we'll do that as a Patreon special. We'll do like
Patreon.
a video
I'll do a video of
of
me cleaning out my nose ring,
that would be
getting the
really cool.
gunk out.
Give us a little daily routine
The
of
daily
you cleaning
routine
out
of
your
cleaning it out, getting the gunk out, the little crusts
yeah.
that
That'd be really
form
cool.
around the
I would watch
scab.
it.
Yeah,
I would
nose
watch it for
scabs.
free even. I would
Yeah,
maybe even watch it for free because this is our Patreon.
yeah. The Patreon that's not even up yet and probably won't be for like
Yeah.
another 3 months.
Yeah, we're
Unless
gonna
people really
sit
want
down.
it, then like yeah, fine, you can give us money. That's okay.
Yeah, if you guys really want it, I mean,
Don't be shy.
we'll get on
Yeah, we'll get on it.
that. But yeah, I don't know, vacation wise, like, but that's really the only like vacation that was a long time ago. I don't know who that girl was, and
But she
I mean,
gave you like the hard stare, like the fuck me eyes.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at the time I was, ah,
You were
I
getting
was,
over that high school when all high school breakups feel like the end of the world.
yeah, I think I was like 17, almost 18, so it's like it's a little less weird,
Yeah.
but I'm not even. That was it. Ain't no thing. That
It
was a
stopped
while
being
ago.
weird for me after I started using Tinder in high school, and at that point it seemed so like completely casual and non-serious to the point where I was just like,
Yeah,
yeah, all right. I mean,
Tinder was always a weird one
it was
because
a
it's
weird
like,
one. It definitely fucked with me in more ways than one, I guess. Heyo.
I agree
It's
with that.
very that was a funny joke I made, but
It was a very funny joke.
it wasn't funny at all. It was actually
It
very
took me,
depressing and sad.
it took me a second. It took me a second, but I saw what you did there.
Yeah, but
Um,
like yeah, no, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you get to know someone over it because nothing ever lasted more than like a week.
yeah.
So it
Well,
was like
I
speed
commend you
running
for that.
dating.
No, but I commend you for that because, in all honesty, I never even when I was looking for love, I guess you could
Wicked
say,
hot
which
slash.
is yeah,
Yeah.
honestly. Um, I never really used it too seriously. I noticed that when I started to kind of treat it as a joke, and mind you, this was a while ago now. I
It
haven't
was a
touched
while
the app
ago, but you
pages in
gotta keep in mind that this was when Tinder was brand new.
oh yeah,
We're
yeah, no,
fucking
exactly. Like
old.
every yeah,
We're like 23. That's
yeah, I know. We're
old.
like practically retired.
We're
It's insane,
practically boomers.
honestly.
Yeah.
But back when yeah, when it was like brand new, like there were people that I met who were really cool, and I noticed that when I started taking it less seriously, I think people talked to me more because they thought I was joking. And I met some really cool people, and then some people who like seemed genuinely interested, and then just disappeared.
Yeah, that happened a lot. I'd meet someone who was like genuinely like seemed really nice and wanted to talk, and I think I had like the longest relationship I had from Tinder was like 6 months actually. But of course, like in the end, she ended up cheating on me, and I kind of had my eyes open to, you know, Tinder's not the best place to find an actual relationship, so I stopped taking it seriously.
Yeah,
And I was like,
I
all right,
agree.
fuck it, whatever, who cares? And I just started seeing people for like a week, and then they'd be bored of me by then and be like, all right, that seems about right. This was after I got super depressed and lost like a ton of weight and became really skinny and weird with like self-image shit. So I'd like constantly be grooming myself and making sure that I looked nice,
No,
even
I
when I'd
feel
just be
that.
staying home.
I had I noticed that I have and I still kind of have weird things like that where like I used to be obsessed with like looking in mirrors if I walked by a mirror.
Oh,
And everybody would
yes.
always be like, "Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep?" And I'm like, "I don't really know. I don't have like a solid answer for you. I don't know why it matters to you."
Yeah, it's
But
just, I mean, I still have that where it's like a self-image thing. I gotta make sure that I look nice, and if I don't, then I want to just go home and kill myself. I
oh
mean, it's
Jesus.
still it's still a thing, but
Yeah,
I
no, I feel
just
that. I
deal
mean,
with
like
it better.
I went through I noticed like I think growing up, especially like in high school, I was very at least I feel this way. I don't know if this is actually how I was, but like I always felt kind of like I was not delusional, but like I was kind of one of those people who was like very unaware of himself. And like people around me would be like, "Oh, like this kid's like a goof, like he's a loser, blah 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 blah." And I think I just got picked on a lot for really stupid reasons growing up. But what I also noticed is like I don't know, like if people are worried, people listening to this are loyal listeners. If you're ever worried about people making fun of you for something, like it's easier said than done, but honestly, like just don't care. Cuz I remember even in middle school, like I got made fun of stuff. Like I got made fun of for stuff rather sometimes, but I noticed like looking back on it, I think I was probably happier back then not worrying about the judgment of other people than I was when I started to like I think around the time like when puberty started to hit and then it was like everybody is like changing and just being awkward and the whole 9 yards. Like that's when I started to be very aware of myself and was like constantly worried about how I looked in public and things like that and it's like everybody gets worried about that kind of thing. And it's not really something that's easy to control. But like it's something to work on for sure, but I've noticed like I always felt like I was happier when I wasn't so aware of that because it's like you have no idea. And it's like even if you're doing something goofy, like that's kind of a level of confidence in and of itself where it's like you don't know it's goofy and you don't know people are making fun of you. To you it doesn't matter because it's like, "Oh, you're just goofing around. You're just having a good time."
Yeah, I think it's just because got called
Yeah.
fat a lot,
Yeah.
probably because I was a little fatty little chubster, and I didn't see you
I
when you
was
were that
quite a
age, but
jokester.
you know that it just
I can
happens.
show you. I definitely have a picture that I can actually, I'm gonna send you that right now.
Yeah, go for it.
It's gonna be very interesting. I'm sitting with one of my friends and I was full on like Cartman from South Park, I swear to God.
Yeah, I was very overweight too, and I think that's why self-image becomes such a big deal for a lot of like people like that who end up like
But I
losing the
think
weight. But Oh yeah, yeah. I saw. I think
I
I saw
was
that. You were a
I
little.
was a perfectly rotund. I had a perfect, ladies and gentlemen, to frame like a picture. It's like close to the same face I have now, minus the facial hair, but on a perfect like circle
Yeah,
of a
that
head.
is very circular. I'd say it's like the moon
It's
emoji.
my face was literally the moon emoji as
Believe
a
it or not,
child.
I was actually fatter than you. I could have ate you.
Well, I didn't realize it was a competition, so
But I mean, that's just like for for the people who don't know this, just imagine that, but like extra saggy and fatty and big
that's
old
kind of
fucking
dude. Stop. That's kind of hot.
yeah, a little bit.
Jeez.
Don't tell anybody. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah. So that's it's weird. Going back to movies and we're back.
Yeah, sorry, we got
Remember,
very
it
off
was kind
topic
of
today, but
like you remember how fucking horny that little girl was in that movie We're Back?
yeah, the one thing I remember about her, and specifically for anybody who's an Oni Plays fan,
Let
was the
no
amount of
bad
jokes they made about her
happen.
saying, "Let no bad happen,"
And she said
and
that
I hope
a lot
and I only
about
remember that because she is voiced by
Lisa
Lisa
Simpson.
Simpson. Yeah,
Or the person who not Lisa Simpson herself,
no, it
but the
is. It's
person
just Lisa Simpson.
who the person who voices Lisa Simpson, whose
Yeah,
names
that's
I'm
a
gonna bring up right now, who's probably sick of their fucking job at this point, is and it doesn't say when I look it up. That's awesome. Voiced by Yeardley Smith. I
if I
can't
can tell
pronounce
you one
that.
person who I know isn't sick of her job, it's Nancy Cartwright.
Nancy
Nancy
fucking Cart.
Cartwright.
Who is she?
I actually love her. She's the voice of Bart. So on the topic of The
Oh yeah,
Simpsons,
that's right. That
she's the
you.
voice of Bart. And I actually some people like I think some people might think this kind of thing is annoying, but like I actually think it's kind of cool cuz like she fully embraces like every character she plays on The Simpsons, especially Bart. And she has her own YouTube channel and she has a lot of videos of her just like going around in public like she'll go order a coffee and like do the Bart Simpson voice and like I don't know what it is, man, but for some reason, like
If you could
specifically
do a
with
Bart
her,
Simpson voice, you would do it all the time, though.
that's yeah, like cause dude, like that's the thing is like I could understand like I I guess I couldn't because I'm not famous or a voice actor, but like I guess I could understand somebody working somewhere and having like in either thinking it's awkward or like I'm sure like I can understand like voice actors like if somebody sees them in public being like oh like do this character's voice getting annoyed with it but like she seems to love it and I think it's really cool because she'll just like every now and then just upload videos of her like going to Starbucks and like talking to some dude and she'll be like hey man and like do the like Bart voice like like get
Yeah.
like she'll put her name down as like Bart Simpson and like walk into a coffee shop and be like, "Hey man, it's me, Bart Simpson."
If it was me,
Like,
if it was me though, and I had the voice of Bart Simpson, I'd just do Chucky Finster instead. I think it'd be funnier just because it's a
yeah,
bit because she's also Chucky Finster.
Chucky. I can't do a Chucky. Every
Yeah,
time I do Chucky, I just do the voice clip of him from the Nintendo 64 game when he says, well, "This is fun.
yeah.
This is
That's
fun," because it's the
fucking.
only one I can think of, and for some reason, saying "This is fun" is like
This
funny.
is fun.
Or, of course, the iconic "I'm not Stu"
Yeah,
is also great.
but yeah, no,
I'm not
it's
Tommy.
fucking Marge is the person who does Marge is she's done.
I'm just
Like
tired of
the
her doing it.
voice, well, you can hear it now. Like they can't do the voice anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's been
yeah.
decades. It's been actual fucking decades.
And that's a tough one too,
That's a
because
tough one because you got to strangle yourself to get the Marge voice out.
yeah. Mm,
But yeah, no, that was and we're back. Lots of we're back is good, but it's kind of
we're back is pretty good.
it's fun. I wouldn't say it's good though.
You know what I never really watched a lot of as a kid? Which, like, I have friends who have, like, straight up been like, "Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
What?
I I never really watched a lot of, Land Before Time.
I loved Land Before Time so much. That was
I was I was never that into it. It was just never really a thing for me. It was weird.
I just like dinosaurs, and you know what? I don't remember anything about the movies really, besides like the first one, but I just all I wanted to see was dinosaurs on the TV. That's it.
I just liked fucking Spike, cuz I don't know. I just remembered I was looking up pictures of Spike just because, and I just remembered I just saw like maybe this would be a good subject for another podcast. There was a McDonald's toy that I remember having as a kid, and it was like a toy of him eating tree stars, and you could like pull the star out of his mouth, and then it would like go back into his mouth. And I don't know why I just remember that, but I remember having like a bunch of those.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I
McDonald's is
think I
cool.
remember a distinct like 101 Dalmatians McDonald's toy. For some reason, I don't know. I got it in like Boston. I think we went out ice skating and got McDonald's, and I just got one of those toys. And it was that 101 Dalmatians, like a little like basically like the kind of toy that you like pull back and it like ends up going like one of those little
Yeah,
pullback cars, like the little
I used to love those. I had a ton of those.
yeah.
Let me think. I'm trying to think now if there's any other like not obscure childhood movies, but like movies not too many other people have
Well,
seen.
I know movies that a lot of people haven't seen when they were children that I saw. Because
Such as.
my favorite movie, like beyond all like these animated movies or whatever, beyond all that, my favorite movie to watch as a kid was Jaws,
Oh, yeah, you know what? Actually,
and
interestingly, I had a
it's
lot of, I guess you could consider adult movies that I used to watch. Well, not really adult
it
movies, but
was definitely an adult movie, but like I was watching it when I was like before I'd even go to school, like before I was even in school. Like this was when I was like 2 or 3. I was watching Jaws. Because
I love it.
We had HBO, and Jaws would just be on all the time. And I think we recorded it, and I just watch it over and over and over and over again. I just love Jaws. That was my favorite movie to watch as a kid.
That was me with Chicken Run and as I mentioned prior, and The Nightmare Before Christmas. Actually,
See, this is
I
why
had
you're not like an asshole. Whereas
was
like
that.
I watch Jaws and you watch like normal children stuff, and I'd
Well,
watch like
no,
the shark fucking eating humans and being like completely mesmerized by the on-screen violence that this creature is committing onto a bunch of fucking like innocent people.
well, no, like I don't know. I don't think that makes you an asshole.
I think
I
it
just,
might have something
I,
to do with
I,
me being a
I
bit
think
of
it
an
just,
asshole.
I think it just shaped our interests very much so later on in life. Because like I'm very into creepy things and like the paranormal and shit like that. And like growing up watching things like a lot of Tim Burton movies. Also a lot of Studio Ghibli as well, which was actually like before I was into anime. But I'll get into that in a second because I remember when I first found The Nightmare Before Christmas, I forget how I found it, but it was back when I was young enough where like any movie that I watched that was new to me, I thought was brand new. Like I thought it just came out.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize until years later that like The Nightmare Before Christmas came out years before I was born. I was born in 1997,
Yeah,
and
same.
I'm pretty sure Night Before Christmas was 92 or 93?
I think it was
1993, yeah.
yeah.
So that was a movie that like I was like, "Whoa, that was out like well, 4 years before I was born." That's not that long, but still.
Yeah.
And, I remember I used to put that on repeat constantly. Same with Chicken Run. And even Chicken Run was kind of like that was a kind of a dark movie. It was like marketed as like a kids movie.
Actually, since you said repeat, there was this one movie that I watched over and over and over again, probably like 30 to 40 times involuntarily. And I'll get into
Mm,
why, because I got sick a lot as a kid. I was very sickly, and I got super duper sick, like with the flu or something, and I was bedridden. I could not get out of bed. I couldn't move. I couldn't. I was just kind of sick in bed, and I just had to like stay in bed for a little while and get better.
Mm.
And my mom put in a movie. She put in Home on the Range, and it sucks because I don't really remember a lot about that movie. I remember like scenes and certain moments, but I don't remember like the plot or the story. And what happened was, uh, it would just like if you just left it on the menu for long enough, it would just play, and I couldn't get out of bed to turn it off. So it just played the
So
movie
just let
over
it
and
keep
over and
going.
over again, and I didn't really want to watch it, but I kind of had no choice because
You
like
kind of just left it, yeah.
yeah, my mom wasn't there at the time, and I was just kind of like in my room by myself, like just in bed, sick and
Yeah.
completely immobile. So I couldn't. It was just playing all day. And when I say 30 to 40 times, that's an exaggeration. It felt like 30 to 40 times, but it was probably something closer to like, I don't know, 10. It was a
Oh
lot.
yeah, like you just constantly like I get what you're saying though, because I've had situations even more like current day stuff where like when I get sick and it's like I just don't want to get up and do anything.
Yeah.
And it's like you're watching something and it's like
But I
like
couldn't get up. Like that's the thing. I just could not. I
yeah,
was incapable of it. Like I tried, but I just couldn't. I didn't have any strength in me to get out. I was
yeah.
just that sick. I got
That's
better
never
though.
good. That's good. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean you're here right now.
Yeah.
Or are you?
Or maybe this is purgatory.
That, I mean, I don't know. The pandemic ain't great, but if this really was purgatory, it ain't great.
It's not the worst.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
as boring. Like at least stuff is happening.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know.
Like you can watch
That
porn and stuff. That's okay. That's cool.
that is very true, actually. That is
Yeah.
very true. Um, what I'm trying to think of, I had another movie in mind that I used to watch a lot as a kid.
I just know mine was Jaws for sure.
I just remember being into like a lot of like I just grew up watching a lot of like creepy, not really creepy movies,
Oh,
but
another
it,
movie that I watched a ton was the first Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi one, the with Tobey
oh
Maguire.
yeah.
That one I watched
See,
a
I remember
shit
watching a
ton.
lot of those movies,
Fuck
and
yeah,
then
I
I
watched
remember
so much.
playing a lot of the games as
I
well.
played the games too. I played the games as well. I had the first game. I didn't have the second one. I wasn't that rich, okay?
I
But I did
did.
have the
Well,
first game.
that feels like an attack because I didn't have the first game, but I sure as hell had the second game.
It
And
balances
then,
out.
I think my friend had Spider-Man. I think did Spider-Man 3 come out on the Game Boy?
I don't think so. But there must have been a Spider-Man Game
One
Boy
of them I
game.
remember was on the Game Boy. I think it was Spider-Man 3. Whichever one was the one that had Pizza Time in it.
Um, I think that was two, wasn't it?
Maybe that was 2.
Pretty sure that was
Because I
two.
remember he had that one.
Because three had Venom and it had Sandman. It didn't have Pizza Time. Pizza Time was in two. Yeah.
Um, yeah, those were I don't know. People are always like, but the Sam Raimi movies because like honestly, I think Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man. He's probably my favorite Spider-Man.
I wouldn't say he's my favorite. I still prefer Tobey Maguire, but Tom Holland's doing a pretty good job with the role. I just think the writing in the movies kind of sucks ass.
Well, the only reason why I think the writing is good is because he's playing a high school student. And I think that he does a really good job at like conveying that like
True.
mentality of a high school. Like I don't know, like he's kind of like especially when he's doing stuff with Tony, at least like in the other movies, like
It just feels like a quarter of what Spider-Man's about instead of like the full Spider-Man experience because he's like yeah, he's doing all this high school stuff, but he's already a developed Spider-Man. They cut the entire
yeah, no,
like
like
origin story of Spider-Man out. They cut it out completely.
I could agree. Yeah, no, I could agree with that because it's like the other ones he was older and it
Yeah.
usually started with the origin of like, okay,
Well,
this
Tobey
is
Maguire
how.
was in high school too, but like when he went to high school, you saw that this is like one of my favorite scenes where like the bully is trying to bully the shit out of him and he's just like involuntarily dodging attacks and like beating the
Yeah,
shit
and
out
then
of him.
and then he fucking murders him in cold blood,
You
and then
don't
they're all
see
like,
that in the new ones.
Yeah, that's
In the
true.
Tom Holland,
Honestly,
like he
dude,
doesn't get bullied, which he's supposed to because that's like kind of a part of his character. Is like his little like twinky nerdy boy
yeah.
that like he gets
And then he
laughed
makes his
at.
list, he's like, "Don't come to school tomorrow," and,
It's fucking.
Tony, don't come by the school tomorrow. I really like you,
Oh,
dude. Don't do your hero speech tomorrow at my high
Tony.
school.
When you
No,
said Tony, I thought of Tony Stark, which doesn't make much sense since he's
um,
not he's not in high school.
Tony's nice.
It's a cry
I
for
keep saying
help.
those really cringy TikToks of it's like people doing like I shouldn't say cringy. That's such a
Hey,
disgusting
hey,
buzzword.
listen. Okay, a little bit of bullying is okay because you got to understand when you're being a little fucking
Yeah, now,
cringy
ladies and gentlemen,
baby.
let's preface this. Don't bully,
Because
but
I'd have moments where I'd see someone do something completely ridiculously like awful, and I'd be like, this person wasn't bullied enough.
yo, I agree.
You're like,
Um,
yeah, I'm not gonna say what it is or not gonna name names, but definitely I've seen things happen where it's like, yeah, these people were definitely not bullied enough in high school.
oh my god, all the time, all the
Oh my
time.
god, yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's just quick little safety precaution here. We are not advocating anybody go out and bully people
No,
at
if you
all.
do that, I
So
will beat the
don't.
shit out of you,
Yeah, we will.
fucking
You
nerd.
are banned. You are banned from the podcast.
You
You are not
banned.
allowed to listen. We will dox you. We will find your address. We will find your family's address. We
I
will
hate
bully your
bullies.
parents. We will bully your parents, and we'll bully you. Um, but no, don't bully. But
Scratch me. Scratch me. Fucking
I
hate bullies.
fucking hate bullies. Um, but I remember like I saw this like TikTok series people were doing where it was like the Avengers. It was like high school aged Avengers, and it was people doing like high school themed cosplays around the character, but it would just be like somebody in like jeans and the t-shirt, and it's like I'm Tony
Uh,
Stark, and I'm like,
what is with high
do you,
school
man?
people in high like? I think high school is the worst because it's hitting that uncanny valley like of the brain. What do you call it? Like of the brain forming. It's like that uncanny valley where like you're not quite a
You mean
child,
puberty?
huh?
Puberty?
Well,
Actually,
kind
I don't
of,
know. I mean,
but it
you're
has
kind
to
of
do
hitting.
like it's not the body. Puberty is more the body. Where I'm talking about like your brain isn't fully formed and your like frontal lobe is still like you're still developing mentally as a human being and you're not quite there yet. So it's at the point where you're not quite a child. You're not quite a brainless little stupid shithead.
Yeah,
Farting, pooing, and crying and pissing and shitting your pants. But you're
yeah,
not
and you're not
quite
like
an
peeing pooing
adult. Yeah.
and like yeah,
It's weird. So I'll see
peeing all over the
these
floor and
because
crying about it, and then your mom comes in the room and she's like, "You promised you weren't going to do this again. You said you were going to be a good boy for me today."
well, I mean
Sorry, continue.
that's just my weekend. But it's one of those things where you see these, I guess, it's still children, they're minors, but they're almost kind of sort of aware of, responsibility and like just getting to the point where they're gonna understand taxes, and it's just fucking weird like how they're breaching the surface from
I
going from child to adult, and it's like after being an adult for so like enough years, you're kind of just like, please stop what you're doing. You're not you're
let me tell you though, that's one thing I will never forgive high school for is like out of any of the things you could teach me, like never was I ever taught how to do taxes, how to do important things. But let me tell you, you got to know how to solve a quadratic equation on both sides. Let me tell you something. I should know how to do that, but I don't anymore cuz guess what? It didn't matter. Like literally none of it did.
yeah,
I shouldn't
instead
say that because I mean,
of
if you go into a mathematic field,
well,
hey, maybe.
that's what school is. It's kind of just a fucking shotgun blast of topics that are just they're hitting you all at once, and
Yeah.
not all of them are going to really matter, but some of them are going to be useful. It's
Yeah.
kind of
I
just
just wish they
throwing
taught me
everything
how
at
to
you,
I
hoping
wish
something
they had a
sticks.
class I wish they had a class that was just straight up like street gang violence, like what to do to protect yourself in a situation where like you married, you got a good paying job, you have a beautiful wife and kids, you got it all. And then next thing you know, someone comes in and tries to gun down your whole family. What do you do? Like I wish we had those classes.
I feel like that's a movie.
I mean, it probably is.
I get what you're saying though, with the whole like school doesn't really teach you how to be a functional human being in life. It sort of teach you concepts of math and science and like how the world works, which is
Yeah, and
fine
some of
and
that is
good,
very, very important. Yeah.
but you kind of need that sort of base level understanding of how life works, how you have to like you go into an interview, like you should wear this, you should probably not say this, shit like
Yeah, you
that.
probably shouldn't spend the entire time talking about why High School DxD is actually a really good anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, again, it depends on the job, but
Instead, you're just watching movies like High School Musical and thinking that that's real life.
yeah,
When really it's high school is just kind of crying in the bathroom while you're taking like a monster-sized shit, and you don't know
yep,
how to explain to the people in the other stall that like, you know, it's
that you
it's
didn't mean for it to smell like
you
that,
didn't mean
and
for
like,
it. And like the dude is like, you're the school bully is trying to knock down the fucking door and beat the shit out of you for stinking up the
he says,
place.
"I hate bullies."
I hate bullies. But anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, well, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting very off topic tonight, but we hope you are having a good time all the same.
I hope they're not, because then they're encouraging us to not stay on topic.
That's actually, yeah. Stop having a good time. Stop
Yeah.
having fun.
And if you are,
Um,
email me and give me $1, and I might
yeah,
respond.
we might let it
I
go.
mean, it'd be a good idea to do questions on the podcast if we ever get questions, but for
Yeah,
now,
I would love that. For now, we'll work with what we got, but I would actually love, if we get to that point, I would love to have people ask questions. I would love to answer questions
yeah.
to anybody who wants to send us anything like that. But yeah, I'm trying to think of a few other movies, creepy movies that
Well, speaking of creepy movies, that's the next topic on my list, is scary movies.
ooh,
Actually,
scary
no, it's
movies.
not. It's a favorite theater experiences.
Favorite theater experiences.
I
I
actually don't know
definitely
why I
couldn't.
put that on. I have no, fuck that. Skip that. That's stupid.
My favorite theater experiences? That's stupid.
I can't even remember a single one right now.
I mean, I thought we had a really good time when we went into Onward, and like we may or may not
Oh,
have
oh,
gotten drunk.
okay. I'm just a
The horse,
fucking
the
idiot.
horse Mario experience.
Okay, I'm just a fucking idiot because I thought of theater as in like Broadway theater. I don't know why.
No,
I'm
I
s-
thought you meant movie theater.
I didn't I wrote this list and I still
I,
misunderstood myself.
I thought you meant movie theater this whole
I
time.
okay, yes, no, in that case, yes, let's do let's do
Okay,
that.
so ladies and
For
gentlemen,
a sec
ladies and
I'm just like
gentlemen,
I've never don't fucking go to Broadway. What the hell? I can't remember a single one.
I've never been to Broadway. I
I've
would
never
like
been to
to
Broadway. I've
someday, maybe, if tickets weren't super expensive. But
all of my like, live theater experiences were completely unremarkable, so there's
the
nothing to talk about
actually, I
there.
do have one actual theater experience
All
in
right,
Boston.
say it quick.
Um, 2 years ago, the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra, right before Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out.
Oh, but
That
that
was
doesn't that
actually
doesn't count though, because that's an orchestra. I was talking about like acting.
okay, fair enough.
Like, because orchestra,
Um,
that's gonna get into the whole like, because I've seen
yeah,
people like
guys,
live.
remember if you're in the music profession, you're not real.
You're not real. You don't count. Shut up.
Yeah, you don't.
But yeah, no theater. We can talk about that onward story.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, um, we went to go see Onward in theaters right as like literally that had to have been like right. That was right when the pandemic started because
That
I
was when
actually
lockdown was just happening. We had to go in with our masks and everything.
so like I know a lot of people are very iffy about Disney because big company bad. I understand. I think there's a lot of things that they do that are really good. I think there's a lot of things they could do a little bit better on, but that movie specifically, I really like that movie. I always like fantasy, and I know I'm not alone in that. We went to go see that right um as you just said, Zach, the pandemic was really starting to ramp up and quarantine just started.
Yeah.
And we went to go see it, and we brought some drinks with us because we are like, you know what, yeah, let's just hang out, have a couple drinks, have a good time, and like what we're doing right now for all of you.
Yes. For your
But
entertainment. For free.
um, it was, yeah, for free. So be grateful.
Be
Be,
grateful,
be
fucking
grateful
cretins.
next time, huh? Yeah, honestly.
Please just
Jeez.
like me. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Please just like we just want
I
some
just
sort
want
of like
people to
proof.
validate
Please,
me and
please.
my
My
emotions.
my
I'm
wife
actually
left me. My wife left me this week,
my
and like
life left me and I'm just
my
left with
life left me.
nothing.
My wife left
And I'd
me.
appreciate just some
My
validation here and
dog
there. That's honestly it.
my dog liked my wife more than me, so he left me too. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah. So it was me, you, and I believe Eric was with us as well. My buddy Eric.
Yes.
And so we went in, and we had a couple drinks. Nothing super crazy. We had
Well, I can say what we had because I was the one who brought the
yeah,
drinks.
you did bring them, and they were
Like a
very,
good
very
boy, I brought some
yeah.
ciders because
Because
we like
overall, a
I
good
like
time.
cider. And beer just kind of doesn't sit too well with me.
And if you don't like cider, you're
That's
wrong.
it's perfectly fine because cider's taste is very objective
Yeah.
or subjective. If it's objective, then yeah, you are wrong.
Yeah.
But I brought what did I bring? I'm trying to remember which one. It was two raspberry 1911s. I had one. I thought it was too sour for me. I gave one to Tristan. Tristan, you enjoyed that one.
Yes, it was very good. I like sour.
I preferred the mass appeal.
Mass
Um,
appeal, yeah, the mass appeal was pretty
the
good.
mass appeal was excellent. I love that one. And I think I brought another kind. I brought the red skies. That's Stormalong.
Mm.
It's Stormalong mass appeal and Stormalong red skies. That was cider with hibiscus in it. Pretty good. I still prefer Stormalong as just a solid all around cider. But those were the drinks that I brought, and I had um, how many did I have?
Didn't you have like four?
I want to say I had three, but it might have been four.
And so I only remember that because I remember we got a little funny. We got a little funny during the
I
movie.
got very
We,
goofy indeed.
we got a little goofy. We got a little silly. And I remember this because
Keep in
so
mind, hold on. Keep in mind that there were only two other people in the theater, and they were sitting right in front of us.
and if I remember correctly, I think somebody fell asleep,
I think someone did fall asleep.
which is really sad because honestly, that is not for anybody
I,
who
I remember I just got
at this
upset
point.
because this one person, I think in front of us, only laughed at one part, and that was a part in the movie where the little Tom Holland
Spoiler
elf.
alert, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not even a spoiler. It's the little Tom Holland character, the elf twink.
He says,
He
"Mamma mia, I'm
he
Spider-Man."
he wrote a note to his mom when he's gonna go on the big plot quest with Barkley, and the note just said
Barley,
like whatever his name is,
Charles Barkley.
Charles Mr.
when he
Barkley
goes on, when he goes on the adventure with Charles
with
Barkley,
the good brother Barkley.
the brothers Barkley.
And what happened? He just left a note that says, "I'm gonna be back with something that will blow your mind." And it's complete. It's nothing. That is nothing. That is not
It's
funny
nothing.
whatsoever. That is literally the least
It's
thing that
nothing.
ever. I've seen that exact quote like fucking 300 times in my life. It's not anything. And this
Plus, the
fucking
thing is, I don't know
old
why that
balding.
guy laughed.
It's just some fucking old balding dude that like probably doesn't understand comedy anymore. Just laughed at that. I'm just like, and I was already a little bit like tipsy. I was just like, I got mad. I was like, why are you laughing, you fucking stupid cunt? That's not even fun. I didn't say it, but I
It's
was like,
pretty
I
funny.
scowled. I was just like, what the fuck is your problem?
What the fuck are you laughing at?
Oh my god! And throughout the
Because
entire rest of the
realistically,
movie, like jokes were made in the movie. The entire rest of the movie, they did not react to anything. That was the one thing that got this guy's that got his goat.
I like to imagine that this guy is maybe the hardest guy in the world. He doesn't laugh at anything. Like he lost his wife that
But I'm
day,
pretty sure his
and this
wife was sitting right
one
next to him.
oh, well,
I'm pretty sure that
for
was
the
his
sake
wife.
for the sake of this narrative,
Yeah, she
he
died right
yeah.
there.
So for the sake of this narrative, he she like dies. He hasn't laughed in years, and all of a sudden this nothing moment in this Disney movie comes out, and this just changes his life forever.
That one
Um,
note that said literally nothing about anything. Just we're
but
gonna
I
be
remember
back with
like
something that will blow your mind.
I just remember we were getting a little bit there.
I was getting
We were a
very
little bit
there.
there. And
I was having fun.
I remember so ooh, pardon me. Um for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, and for anybody who has seen the movie, there's the centaur guy who's the mom's boyfriend. Um and he's got a very nice mustache.
Well, first of all, we have to preface this with before that we were laughing at the scene of the cop, the gay cop woman for no
Oh,
reason other than because like we saw a bunch of a
yeah.
bunch of like Twitter
So
gifs and memes of her and like
yeah.
I think you just turned to me and said like there she is. And I was
Well,
like my queen.
so okay, so yeah, so we were laughing about the gay cop in fucking in this movie, and we were laughing about the gay cop
Uh,
in this movie because for all of you who are meme connoisseurs such as ourselves, um, if you remember correctly, when this movie was coming out, even if you didn't see it, Disney made an article stating that this was their first openly gay character, which,
I'm
as
pretty
far
sure
as
that's a
we
lie
know,
too.
and it is a lie because apparently, and this I actually didn't know. Apparently, LeFou from Beauty and the Beast is also gay, and that was something I didn't know for a really long
Who
time.
the
But
fuck is LeFou?
LeFou is Gaston's little butt buddy that falls
Oh,
really
I
well in the
feel
movie.
like that was obvious though. He was definitely gay for Gaston.
Oh yeah,
That
but
was
like
for
they don't,
sure
it's
obvious.
not explicitly stated,
It's
but
not
yeah, like
explicitly stated, so like I don't think that he was intended. I think they just rolled it back and was just like, yeah, no, that guy was gay this whole time and you didn't know. I think there was a guy in Marvel and Endgame who talked to like in the self help
yeah, it was the self help for like
where
people who
yeah, Captain
lost
American was Captain American.
Captain American.
Captain
Hello, it is me,
Hello, it
Captain
is me,
America.
Captain American. I've come to be your American hero.
I'm here to learn your language,
Please don't look at my visa, it
Americanese.
is expired.
He's just I cannot tell a lie.
I cannot tell a lie that my visa is
Do not look at
expired.
my visa, it is
If you
expired.
have a daughter, then please marry her to me so I
To
can
me,
live here in America. Be true American hero.
marry her to me.
But yeah, no, I
I
think
will
that dude
surpass
was
this
openly
GI
gay.
Joe.
I think all he mentioned was having a date with a man, and that was it. So it wasn't even like specifically
Yeah,
gay
it
because
was
he could
and
have been
like
bi, he could have been pan or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Stupid fucking pandering to people who really don't give a shit. It's fake representation. It's not. It doesn't mean shit. They just put it into to appease a bunch of fucking brain tumor idiots who think that like
Jesus.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna outright say it. Like representation is important, but only if it's like decent
Yeah,
representation,
no, actually,
not
yeah.
just
The
one
more you
side
say that, the
character
more
that like Disney could have just been like the two stormtroopers that could fly now are gay and they were lovers.
yeah, and I
And
no,
then
I
and
actually
people
do.
would be like, "Oh wow, that's amazing! Disney did the thing." And yeah, they did the thing. Upvote Reddit, please.
No, and I do agree with that. Give me some Reddit karma.
Have
Um,
like if you want to
because
have a gay
again, as you
character in
just
there,
said,
just you know,
sorry, continue.
no, you go ahead because I feel like that's kind of it. Like, just get
Um,
actual representation with actual characters, not
yeah, the
side
more you
shit.
the more you talked about it, the more I agree because as you were just saying, like I maybe we're both well, you're or are you straight or you bi?
That's a good question.
Fair
Anyway,
enough.
continue.
Fair enough. Um, so I mean, for me at least, I know I'm straight, or at least I'm attracted to feminine people. Maybe being somebody who's straight and white and also a guy. Maybe I don't or, shouldn't have an opinion on a
Yeah, your
matter.
opinion
Maybe,
is invalid.
yeah, maybe that's the case. But I do agree with what you were
It's not,
saying
by
where
the way.
representation is very, very important, but do it in a way either that makes sense. Like don't just shoehorn it in because also like that to me, like I feel kind of disrespected if somebody just did it to be like, "Hey, by the way, this character was secretly gay the whole time. Buy our merchandise." Like,
I just feel
and
like it's completely
people,
meaningless. Like there's no point to it. What does that accomplish? It accomplishes nothing. Nobody's gonna remember that one character from Endgame that appeared for one scene that didn't even last 2 minutes and be
well,
satisfied with that.
you say that, but we did just talk
We
about him.
talked because I was trying to prove Disney wrong about it being like the only gay character, like the first openly gay character, where I was just like, no, wait a minute, hold on. There was that one guy, and I don't even like he didn't even have a name. Like that's not even really a character, really.
His
It's
name is Thomas
his name is Rufus von Cockwinkler.
Rufus. That's it. That's the one,
That's the
dude. And
one
I can't believe, we should have signed up for that trivia night on Marvel movies on the
on
MCU
Marvel
because
Night,
honestly, that
College
was the
Marvel
yeah.
Night.
Yeah, because honestly, like I don't know anybody who would have known the answer to that question.
I just think representation, like it's important, but if you're seeking representation in stuff like fucking Disney movies or whatever, like this mainstream shit, I'd say honestly don't. And I can only speak as a creative. Like I'm trying to make stuff. I will put in as much representation as possible, but when I do, I strive to make those characters meaningful and actually
Yeah,
have a
and I think
purpose
that's a
and
good
a
thing.
voice.
I agree with that. I
Because
agree with that because
what
a lot of people do it
voice
'cause it's like they just want to get the clicks up.
they want to
It's like it's
see shallow characters that don't have a voice. Like you give your character a voice for a meaning, and
yeah.
if that voice is if the only thing that voice is I'm gay, that doesn't really like okay,
Yeah, like, okay, Ellen
all
DeGeneres, what
right.
else do you need? Like, do you want a cookie? Like,
She probably
give
does.
yeah,
She
you know
probably
what? Yeah,
does.
probably does, but
Ellen, you
I
can
think
have a cookie on us.
nah, you know what? I don't wanna give her a
Yeah,
cookie.
don't let's not do that. I feel like giving her
I've
after she
heard
did
I've
the
heard a lot of suspicious things about her over the past few months, and I think a lot of people will agree.
we
But,
can give her a cookie that's made of like tofu and bat shit.
yeah, give her something to humiliate her and do it on live TV.
Live TV.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I wholeheartedly agree. Representation is super important,
It
but
is
I feel like a
important.
lot of people are doing it in such a shoehorned way nowadays. And again, maybe, somebody like me, I'm a straight white guy. Maybe I shouldn't have an opinion on this matter, but I do think that it's almost kind of disrespectful in a way to people in the LGBT community that like there's a lot of cases where there's really good representation in movies, or sometimes like there's a few cartoons I've watched that'll have gay characters, and they'll literally just be like, "Oh, uh, I'm gay." Like a character, like or like one character will be interested in another character, and they're like, "Oh, that's like really sweet of you, but
Korra
I'm
doesn't count.
gay."
Korra doesn't count.
No, 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 not
Korra
Korra.
sucks ass.
No, there was another show. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I
Oh
know
no, no, no.
you're
It
not
was
talking about Korra, but I just want to say
yeah,
that Korra
Korra.
that
The Korra one, and I think a lot of people is that Korra is a perfect example of how not.
that was so like
Dude,
you
that was so dumb.
that
That
was
was the
so
stupid.
nothing. Like what the fuck was that? That was just like, oh yeah, Korra kissed girl and they love each other. Like when the fuck was that anything? That was never a thing in that entire series, and you just made it happen because brownie
Yeah,
points, I guess. So
yeah.
stupid. Oh my
It
god.
was very dumb.
It was so dumb.
Um, and again, ladies and gentlemen, that does not mean that having this type of representation is bad, but do it right, you know?
I saw a tweet
And
the other day, not to cut you off, but I saw a tweet the other day that was exactly saying what you're saying. I was just, or what we're saying, even where it's like, do representation better. It's not enough to just have a shallow character that has no voice and does nothing besides just be gay. Because then, what is that character?
again, like there's a lot of media, and again, like in I don't know, even in actually Onward, I don't even think was that because I know this started out with the Yeah, we got very off topic because
We
this was
did get very
this
off
was
topic.
talking about
But it's
gay cops.
important. It's important because I feel like there's a big problem with representation in how, and I think it's because, especially like around, people were developing, and our generation is a little bit more progressive than the last one. And as
Oh,
you're developing
absolutely.
in
I
high
think we're
school,
to be the generation that brings the biggest change in the world.
exactly, and I think especially around, high school and like people's developing years of people in like our age, that
Mhm.
whole like coming out as being non-binary or something like that, and I can't talk for other people, but I can just tell you what I saw, and what I saw was a lot of people who would focus in on just the identity aspect and not the substance aspect, and how it was sort of like it's like, I yes, you exist, and that's awesome, and I'm very proud of you for being true to yourself. But I
Yeah.
think it had a very not an adverse effect, but a very surface I don't know how to say this, Rob. Like, it had an effect on movies and film where I'm pretty sure just like industry film people would look at all that happening and think to themselves like, how do we cash in on this audience?
Ooh, I too can do this.
Yes,
Hmm.
I too can have a character be non-binary or cisgender or non-straight, and then that should be enough. That should be enough. We
That
don't
is good enough. Yes.
That's
Hmm.
completely good enough, and that's completely adequate. Whereas I'm trying to say right now, and I'm not very good at explaining things in general, as I'm sure I've made that very obvious with this podcast, that I think that that's no longer enough. And I don't think it
Yeah.
ever was enough. It was just kind of a thing that happened. So
Yeah.
the whole idea with Disney having like a gay lesbian character, fictional character, mind you, that has one single scene in the movie, and all their scene accomplished was to progress the plot. First and foremost, they were basically a non-character. They just kind of progressed the plot because they acted as a roadblock for the I don't even remember the characters' names, but they were in
Tia and
disguise.
Barley, I think.
Yeah, they were in
Yeah, they cast
disguise.
a spell and they're in disguise as the mom's boyfriend. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's like police chief.
and
And so
the
they're like,
whole
"What are you doing out here?" And
the
he's
whole
like, "Oh,
coming
I'm
out thing, like, I
coming
guess
out of the
spoilers, I
police."
guess, but the lesbian cop Cyclops was saying how, like, oh, I just had a kid with my wife or my girlfriend or whatever,
Yeah, she's
and
like, "Oh, my girlfriend's kid like has me
very
nervous all the
casually,
time."
very
And
very
yeah,
casually brings it up. Like, if you honestly tuned out of it for a second, you would have missed it.
but
And
even that,
then
like, I honestly don't even think that's that big of a deal.
it's
Because
not
it's
even a
like, hey,
big deal at
whatever.
all. It's
Yeah,
not a
it's
big
like
deal at all.
whatever.
And
They added it and it's fine.
normally
You
I
know?
like, I wouldn't give a shit like that if I heard that, I'd just be like, all right. Yeah, it wouldn't phase me whatsoever. But I think it's the fact that Disney and like people who like do the whole obsessive Disney support thing, like, took that as like a golden shining symbol of LGBT inclusion. And I just think that's ridiculous. That's fucking horseshit, because that's nothing.
Yeah, it's like, and again, people,
It's
we
the
want
same
to talk
thing with
about.
it's I feel like it's very similar to the whole Star Wars with Finn not being the main character, which I think is completely fucking stupid.
I think my thing is like I don't mind Ray.
I don't
I
mind Ray,
think
but
that Finn should have had a more prominent role.
Finn
I
should have
don't
been the
like the
main
fact that
character,
he
I
was just
think.
completely tossed to the
He
wayside,
was
and I
tossed,
think a
he
lot
was
of
cheated. Oh my god, that
oh yeah,
character.
absolutely.
He was in all of the promotional work and all of the promotional shots
Mhm.
and all of the trailers. He
Well,
was
then
made out.
they have a thing in episode 7 where he uses the fucking lightsaber, and then
Yes.
they just never go back to it.
Never go back to it.
And
Never
it's
go
like,
back to it.
"Okay, cool. So, fuck him, I
That's
guess."
scrapped.
Like
And that was
and that
such a
was
cheat. Oh my god. Fucking
I'm actually so on the topic of Star Wars, I'm actually still a big Star Wars fan. I'm watching a lot of mainly The Mandalorian because that's like the only thing keeping me as a Star Wars fan. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I have yet to see
Um,
The Mandalorian. I heard it's good, but I have yet
The
to see it.
Mandalorian. I have Disney Plus. If you ever want to swing by whenever it's safe to do so and watch it, because it's actually really really good.
I just give people
And
my
season
accounts.
two is coming back soon. Season two is coming back soon. I don't know if I can because it's a family account, but
I'm pretty sure you
um,
can make your own profiles on there though.
oh,
Like
that's
if you
true.
log, like I give all my accounts to my cousin. Like
Oh,
my
that's true.
cousin has the my login to Marvel Unlimited, DC Universe, Funimation, Viz Media, Hulu, Netflix, all of that. I just give it,
Oh, word.
and that's totally
Yeah.
fine. I mean, if you want
Um.
to, it's your account, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, it's my parents because they pay for it. Because
that's
otherwise,
true. I mean, if
but
you want, I can give you
it.
Funimation. You can watch Dragon Ball or something.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
Um. But yeah, like that one's another one where that series is really good. Mandalorian is really good. Some of the other movies, like I don't know. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, Solo wasn't that good," but
I didn't
like
even
I don't
see
know.
it.
Like there's a few movies, and I agree. With, like a lot of people were saying, "Oh, like fucking episode 7 is too much like it's too much like um
It's too much
A
like
New
a
Hope.
New Hope.
We
Yeah,
want yeah, sorry guys, I'm keep messing up what I want to say.
it's fine,
But yeah,
but I
it's
know
like
we're
so much
getting way off
like,
topic from the original point of
well, I mean
our beautiful
yeah, we
queen, our
yeah, our
lovely
beautiful queen.
Cyclops.
Yeah, I'm so sorry guys. I didn't even
But
finish.
what you were saying, I think I just want to add on to that one quick thing. If Finn became the main character, that would have been actual good representation for the black community, and I think that Disney just fucking tossed that shit aside for profits.
And they gave
That's
him
what I'm
such a
talking about.
good story
They
too.
gave
They
him
gave him
such
such
a good
like
a
the
stormtrooper
idea of the
turned
stormtrooper.
Jedi.
Yeah,
That's
that would have been
brilliant.
so that was brilliant.
That is
And even like
brilliant.
they didn't even make it a big deal. It's literally the intro of it. He sees some dude get killed and he's like, "Why the fuck am I out here?"
He has a panic attack and ends up, because he has empathy.
What I did like again, I don't think the last movie was good. The
I didn't
only
see
good
it.
thing okay,
I didn't see any of this shit.
the only good thing about the last movie is Babu Frick.
But that was
Um
the one of the favorite experiences of like seeing our beautiful Cyclops queen on the big screen and just giggling to
yeah,
ourselves.
so we kept giggling about that
But that's not
because
even the best part. You got to
no,
tell
but
the best part.
what made me laugh about that is you kept bringing up there was a meme you saw of um it was a picture of her and it just goes, "Give me a second eye," and she just grows a second.
They gave her a
But
second
so
eye.
later on, so eh, for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, I don't want to go into too heavy of details as to like why they disguise themselves as the centaur guy or like what happens there because the movie's been out for a while, but if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it. But anyway, there's a point later on in the movie where they're talking to the centaur guy because he catches up with them because he finds out that they were disguised as him and they're like, "What's going on?" Because he's been looking for them forever for the sake of the mom. And so he finally meets up and he's like, "Listen, Ian, Barley, you guys got to come home. Like, your mom's worried about you, and I'm not going to let her be worried about you. And I'm worried about you guys too." And they're like, "Well, we got to help her dad." And so they're having like a serious conversation. And I just started giggling. And Zach looks at me. He's like, "What's up?" And I just like,
You point at the screen like a
it's,
toddler and you just all you say is you look at me with these big doughy eyes and you're like horse Mario.
he looks like a horse. And it
He's
made me piss myself because Zach immediately, like, I think I've never heard you laugh louder. And it reached a point where somebody looked back at you and was
I
like,
didn't
"What
laugh at well,
the
I didn't laugh out loud at first. I like slow like I just realized what you said, and it was a kind of laughing crying where I just kind of like slowly leaned back and my eyes, I think I couldn't open my eyes. I was squinting so hard and crying, and I just started fucking dying at that
But what
one
made me
phrase.
laugh is like at the point for me where the joke was starting to like wear out, you were still laughing like
I was
5 minutes
I was leaning back in the chair and I was kicking my feet. I couldn't stop.
And I just remember, like, one of the people who was sitting in front of us looked back a couple times, like, "What the fuck is going on?" And basically, I guess the moral of the story is, ladies and gentlemen, go to the movies drunk if you can.
Do it. Some movie theaters will provide you with drinks so long as
Yes.
you are of age. But I think
And
that
if you're
was
not of age, go to the movies. Stop going to the movies in general.
yeah.
Just stop going.
But
It's not
I think that was one of my favorite experiences of, going to the movie theater. I remember seeing SpongeBob the movie, the first one.
ugh, it was
Um,
so good.
it was really good, but I remember these two annoying kids sat in front of us and started like, bouncing up and down and being like annoying little shithheads.
Yes, SpongeBob.
Yeah,
What is SpongeBob movie?
pretty much. And my
Oh,
cousin,
yes.
my older cousin Sarah would grab popcorn and throw
She
it at their
grabbed him
heads.
by the head and killed him.
She almost did, honestly. She was getting really pissed off. But
I don't
she'd
blame her.
grab popcorn and start throwing it at their heads, and they'd get pissed off. And that was pretty
I
funny.
was I remember being very young when that movie came out. I had to have been actually, let me look that up. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's another I guess you know what's weird? That counts as another childhood movie.
Yeah, that definitely a
Because
childhood
it's like
movie.
I've never thought about how long it's been
It's been a real long time.
since
I
that
remember
movie.
I wanted to see X-Men as a kid in theaters, but I wasn't allowed to because I was way too young, and they said
Yeah,
I
that was
wasn't allowed.
2004. Wow.
Yeah, that was real early.
I was 7 years old.
Yep, me too.
That's crazy.
I just remember wanting to see X-Men, and I wasn't allowed to, so the only option I had was to watch the Pokemon, the first movie. And I watched it
Uh,
in theaters, and I just remember like I was really, really young, but I remember all of the parents looking completely confused, where I was having a good time. I didn't give a shit. Like, I was having fun.
that's a good movie, man. Old
It is.
old Pokemon movies are really good. I was never a fan of the anime, but like that's another good movie topic is like Pokemon movies.
I think they were decent. I think the first one was really, really good. Well, not really, really good, but it was like a good, solid movie. Like, genuinely, like I could look at that movie and be like, "This is a good movie." I think Pokemon 2000, I got super fucking bored of. I got so bored of it. It was like I don't know. It was weird. I don't even remember much of it. I just got so bored. I was so bored in the not even in the theater. I was just watching it in my TV room, I guess.
I think that would be a good thing to save for like a later Pokemon episode because I remember I just remember like really enjoying I was never a fan of the anime, but I remember like me and my friends when we were younger used to do like tier lists of like the best uh Pokemon movies, like in our opinions.
Yeah, that's something we
And,
should
like,
do.
yeah, that'll be fun.
But yeah,
But
that's kind of my movie experiences. Unless you have any more to talk about.
not that I can really remember.
All right, next thing, because
Next thing,
we're
what's
already
next?
like an hour and a half in. So
Yeah.
I
Oh, what's the
guess
next thing, sir? Give us it, huh?
I guess I want to talk about like the new wave. It's not even that new anymore, geez, of like animation and animated movies being turned to live action.
I think they're all bad, they're all terrible,
They're all
and we should
terrible.
just stop
Just
doing any of
boycott
them. They're
them.
all
Stop
really shitty. Yeah.
stop watching that garbage. It's fucking
Yep, just
awful.
stop. It'll rot your brain.
I feel bad about just calling something awful and not explaining it. It's just not good adaptations, and
Oh,
it's
I was joking. I was just
oh, I was completely serious because I
no,
think
because I was just being an asshole and like just firing off right away and being like, yeah, it's all bad.
but
It's all bad. We should stop
I was on board with it though.
Oh,
I
okay.
was
Well,
completely on board with that because I
so
think
you
it
mean
is all bad.
the new wave of like animation then turning it into live action?
Yeah. Like
There's
taking old
some
movies like what
so
Disney's doing with The Lion King and Mulan and
well,
all.
so the Lion King, I don't know. I really liked. I actually went to see that. I was on a camping trip with a friend of mine last summer, and we all went to go see it because we actually didn't want to see it, but he has a lot of younger cousins, and they wanted to see it. So we are like, you know what? Okay, we'll go see that. And I remember like it wasn't really great, but I remember like the movie itself was interesting, but it wasn't because like what interested me was like I don't think this movie's necessarily bad, but I was like, why is it animated? Like, why is it considered animated if it or why is it considered why is it considered live action if the movie itself is still animated?
I mean, what you're saying about it not being a bad movie, it's not bad because it's
It's
based on a
based off
good
of a good
movie.
movie. Yeah.
So they're
So it's
calling it
just
live
very
action, but
weird.
they're still using CG computer animation because obviously they can't get lions to do that.
Well,
Lions
yeah,
and,
it was
and
just
you know,
it was a very odd show. It was very weird. It was a weird
it's a
movie. It
whole
was a
bunch
movie.
of shit, honestly. Fuck that. Just watch the originals, and if you feel bad about it because you're an adult, fuck you, grow up.
You know, honestly, like, and I'm tired of that shit too. I was talking about that with a friend. I was talking
Stop
about
being
my
so
sister today
self-conscious about
about
watching animated
being,
movies like it's for kids. Just grow
yeah,
the
like
fuck
just
up.
shut up.
Who
Like,
do you
you know,
think makes animated movies? It's adults.
well, like people have done like animations of that where it's like, oh, well, this is all for little babies anyway, and then it's like, meanwhile, and it'll be like a film studio, and it's like a bunch of fucking toddlers like directing a movie because it's like, who do you think is making this shit?
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. Go
Fucking
watch
douche.
Citizen Kane, you cocksucking fat lump of a shit.
I
That-
you cocksucking fat lump of a shit.
yeah,
There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
you beautiful, you absolutely ravishing little cock slut. You mound. You're just a mound
You
to
moundo.
fuck. That's what you are. You're just a
You're just a
mound with a
mound.
hole to fuck and enjoy as just a complete like lack of sentience, stupid amoebic
Is
little.
this a fantasy for you?
It's I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Anyway, video game movies,
Oh boy.
they suck. Well, not all of
Wreck-It
them.
Ralph. Well, Wreck-It Ralph.
That doesn't count.
I guess it doesn't, but at
It
the same
doesn't, because
time, I'm
that's an
like, you know what?
original movie not based on any video games that just has video game characters in it. That doesn't count.
Okay, but Chun-Li's in it, and they did a good job.
Chun-Li's in it, Sonic's in it, but like
I
they're
like Chun-Li. Hey guys,
that's
hey,
what I'm talking about before rolling it back to
Chun-Li, if you're listening,
she's
hit
not.
me up.
She's not. She's
Well,
on my
she's probably
desk right now.
Hey, Chun-Li, say hi.
She's bending over and winking.
Oh, that's cute. Is
But
she saying ha ha yatta?
no,
Oh, okay.
she's saying
Well,
ooh, whoa. But this is what I'm talking about, rolling it back to fake awful representation with Sonic and Chun-Li, who are just non-characters that kind of just show up. And you don't
yeah,
really
they are just kind of there.
that's kind of what I mean when I say that kind of stuff. Like Sonic's just
Yeah.
kind of there and he doesn't do anything. So
Well, I do like that he has this whole speech. Where, if you leave the game, if you get unplugged and you're not in the game, it's game over.
he might as
And
well
he says,
have been
make sure
replaced
to.
with any other character and it would have made no difference.
I would have liked it more if they had Sonic, but it was specifically Jaleel White.
Yeah, I would have liked that more.
And I would have liked it more if he showed up and just said, "It's super awesome to be hugged by someone you like. But if you get touched somewhere in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good." Because like that would have been pretty.
That would have, I think that, see, in that case, that would be good representation because there's a point to him being there. And if that wasn't
He's
said throughout the
telling them that if you
movie,
get touched in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good.
it's to make all of these disgusting pedophiles watching the movie who jerk off to Vanellope von Schweetz. It's to make them.
And a lot of people do that, and and that's not even like I wish that was a joke too.
I wish it was a joke too, but a lot of people do that, and also because then you're telling the children in the audience to not let those guys touch your willy or butthole.
Yeah,
And that's very important. That's an important lesson to tell these kids that are watching movies made for kids. I mean,
everybody says,
I know I just said like adults should watch animation, and I think they should too, but a lot of the time movies are just made for kids. But that doesn't mean an adult can't watch it. Like you can watch it and enjoy it. But
that's what I was saying to my sister, where it was like people just don't respect.
they don't
Animation.
respect animation because of
really sad.
It is sad, but because it's made, a lot of animations made for kids, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily lacking in quality, even though a lot of the time it kind of is. A little bit, like Frozen. Frozen sucks ass. I think it does at least. And
I don't hate Frozen. I thought Frozen 2 was interesting as well, but that movie, I guess, went through a lot of development hell,
I can
which is kind
clearly
of sad.
see why, because it's kind of all over the place with its message and what it's, the story and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I watched something like Tangled, and I think Tangled is just a great movie. Overall, solid A plus. Coco is great.
Coco was great.
That new dragon movie, the Raya, the dragon, last dragon. I think
Ryan the Dragon?
that looks like shit.
I haven't even heard of that one.
It's the new thing that Walt Disney Studio is working on. Hold on, Raya and the Last Dragon. I'm looking up right now. The fucking dragon looks like
I'm gonna look that
Elsa.
up too because I actually haven't heard about this.
The dragon looks like Elsa. I swear to God, look at its face.
Huh.
Look at its face. Hold on. You should be able to see it. It's like a weird DeviantArt looking dragon.
Oh my god, I hate that.
Yeah, it looks like Elsa, doesn't it?
I
Why?
don't know if I like that.
I don't
Disney.
like it. I'll say outright, I don't like it. I don't.
I see somebody put up like concept art, and it looks like one of the concept art pieces was like, I don't know what this is. Oh, it's the different voices and different characters they've played, and one of them looks like it's a Skeksis. Which,
Oh,
if you also
from
want to talk about movies, let me tell you guys, Dark
Dark
Crystal.
Crystal. I like that
Dark
movie a
Crystal
lot.
is
I know
really
it's not perfect. I
good.
know it's not the best movie out there. I know it's.
I'm a big fan of Jim Henson
I
stuff,
like
and
Jim
like
Henson stuff. I like it a lot.
big nerd for puppets.
I
There's
like
apparently a
it.
puppetry museum, I think in Georgia, in Atlanta,
Time to go to Georgia, I
and
guess.
they have honestly,
Go to
they have a
Georgia and
lot of cool
fuck the
stuff.
puppets.
Yeah, I would do that.
I'd do it too. I don't
I
give a
would
shit.
go in and obnoxiously scream the Fraggle Rock theme song at the top of my lungs until they show me where the Fraggles are. I bet they know where they are.
I bet they have them there, yeah. They
I
gotta.
would. All right, hypothetical, real quick hypothetical. I
Go
know we
for
keep
it.
getting off topic, but what honestly would you do? Like, if you woke up one day, like, I don't know, it's like the middle of the night. You're really tired. But you're like, oh man, I'm awfully, I'm awfully, my mouth is dry. I'm awfully thirsty. So you go out and you get a little drink. You get a little drink for yourself, and you just see this little furry creature with abnormally long legs that walk really funny because since they're puppets, they normally don't use them.
Yeah.
And it's like a Fraggle, like, and he just sees you and doesn't say anything, but like it just sees you and it's like, oh, and then like it runs into a hole, and then you see like 50 of other ones come out, like in the scene from Ratatouille when the old lady sees them, and they all run into this one hole. Like, what would you do? Would you be afraid?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but like, would it be funny to you, or would you just kind of be like, "What the fuck"?
I feel like I would recognize it as a Fraggle since I've seen Fraggle Rock,
That's fair.
and I'd be in disbelief at first. I'd feel like I was either in a dream or I
Let me
was
say,
like
suspend that disbelief.
hallucinating. Because I do dream every single night, so it's not very, it's not out of the question for me to just be dreaming. And then I'd probably wake up the next morning and feel like well, no, I'd give myself the benefit of the doubt. I'd go and check and see if that hole was still there, and if it wasn't, I'd just be like, that was a weird fucking dream I just had.
Understandable, yeah.
Because like, what else am I supposed to do? I feel like I'd just sit down. I'd just be like, I don't understand what just happened, and I feel like the
Would you try
boundaries.
to, if one came out and said, "Sir, I know that I don't know much about you, and you don't know much about me, but I can show you. I can show you our world. I can show you our lifestyle." What would you
Lifestyle.
do? Would you come with? Would you go with? How would you feel?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, cool. Me too,
Anything
probably.
to escape this fucking shithole, hellhole of a fucking awful, shitty 9 to 5 retail.
Honestly, I would leave the life I have now to go be a Fraggle. I
I
think that would be pretty.
I think about it way too option. Way too option. What the fuck? I
Way
think
too
about this
option.
way too often about the whole like
Being a Fraggle.
no, being a monkey.
Dude, I want to return to Monkey.
Because you know,
Hey
of
guys,
course,
leave a comment below if you want to return to Monkey.
yeah. Please do let us know. So, I just, I just think about like it's a big meme, it's a big joke, but I feel like I'd genuinely do it if I had the option. I really actually would.
I would love to like. It's weird because actually, like, if we genuinely were given the option to revert to being monkeys, I'd be afraid because there's still a whole new level of like evolutionary and survival tactics that you need to. But at the same time, it's like
But you don't though, because you'd be a monkey that was previously a human, so you have that human, I guess, like mindset. So you could just straight up go like as a monkey, go down to McDonald's, order something, and
okay. Well, that's my next question then, I guess, because like, if am I a monkey, but do I still have accessibility to be a
you
human being?
still remember being a human being, and you still remember things that humans do. You might not have the capacities of the human mind fully because you're a monkey, but you
But you can
still
go down to
remember.
McDonald's and order.
Yeah, you still remember going to McDonald's and
You go
ordering
down, you
food.
go, ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah, you can go down there and just point and be like, "I want that," and then you could just take a seat and start eating, and people everyone would be scared shitless and call animal control. But I
Okay.
imagine like animal control shows up and just sees this monkey. Just it'd basically be like monkey news on the
I would love
Ricky
that.
Gervais, where just like, oh, you're just a monkey, but
My
you're doing human
God,
stuff.
I would love monkey news.
But
Can
it'd
we?
just be the reality of you'd be living in monkey news.
I need monkey news in my life.
That's the thing, though. You would be the monkey news.
I would
You'd
love. I would love this life for me.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I would under,
You'd be so popular.
I
Like
would. Yeah, exactly.
nothing to like. Ah,
And I
life would
saw
be
how many people, how many freaks were talking about Caesar the monkey on Twitter, saying they'd fuck him. So like, you got those options.
no. That's okay. I think even as a monkey, I wouldn't want those people.
But I mean, you have that option though. You have that option if you really want to. If you really
Yeah,
want to
that.
take it.
Okay,
I'm
that's
sure
fair.
that there are people out there that would definitely fuck you as a monkey.
I think. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I really don't want to say that there is, but you're probably right.
I mean, there definitely is.
Yeah, which is very unfortunate to know, but
It is a little bit, but knowledge is
that's
power. So
people want to.
if you ever were scared of losing that part of life, then fear no more
Just remember,
because
people will fuck you as a monkey.
so if you ever feel bad about being like 300 pounds, like socially awkward,
Maybe
and
if you're a monkey, people will fuck
I
you.
mean, there's people who would fuck monkeys, so you have a
I mean,
chance.
monkeys fuck monkeys, so
It's true, and you could fuck monkeys too if you really try hard enough.
you believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, focus, have good goals.
Believe in yourself, and you get that chance to
Uh,
be the fool who went and fucked a
Rip this.
monkey. I
Yeah.
know I shouldn't mope around, I shouldn't curse, but the pain feels.
I want
Alright.
to.
Actually, I shouldn't sing that because we'll probably get sued by Viacom.
You probably wouldn't, but yeah. Let's move on to the next. Well, first I wanted to talk about the one video game movie that I think is good, and that's Mortal Kombat.
Well, yeah, okay. That's actually a thing I was thinking about because actually there's a podcast I like, Astonishing Legends, and this is gonna sound off topic, but it isn't. They were doing a story about this series of, I don't know if they're cryptids, ghosts, aliens, whatever, but they did a three-part podcast series about the Black Eyed Kids, and one of the first stories documented
Black
about
Eyed
them was this.
Peas.
Yeah, the Black Eyed Peas.
That's what I
Um,
thought about.
but one of the first accounts of them was this guy who ran into them while sitting outside a $1.50 theater where these kids who were these black-eyed kids who like were trying to get into his car. That's a whole can of worms to open up at another time, but they were trying to see the Mortal Kombat movie, and they were talking about how like at the time, like, this is a pretty well-known movie where like video game movies aren't that great, but like this one specifically
Yeah,
seemed to be like a really good one
it
that a
was
lot of
the
people.
thing to watch.
Yeah, and they were like, but the funny thing is like if it was out at the $1.50 theater, it must have been out for quite a while at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one that I know a lot of people are very like, but are also like, it's actually a good one.
I think it's good. It's fun. It's not like super well written, but it is good. I think it's just a movie you could put on and not really focus on and just have like really nice kung fu martial arts action
Yeah,
go on. It's a good movie, I think so.
yeah.
That's the only one I'll say is good. But I want to move on to scary movies since it's almost the scare
Ooh.
wolf time.
It is almost Scarewolf time. That it's a very good observation, Zachary.
Yes. I'm known for my
Um,
observations and being
yeah, you're
right.
very good at yeah, being right all the time. And if you disagree,
You're wrong.
ladies, if you disagree,
You're just
so
jealous.
help me God. So, anyways, tell us more about movies. Zach.
Just scary
Favorite
movies.
horror?
I like scary movies. I
I
think
do too.
I want to watch some scary movies on Halloween and stream that to the Discord and
And
have
maybe go, ah, ee!
I'd probably just be pissing and shitting and having a fun time out of glee, of
Sorry, as you
course.
can tell, it's getting kind of late, and I'm doing the fake screaming because my family is asleep.
The highbrow screaming,
Ah, ee,
the
ah,
ones that
when
little
you're not,
kids do.
yeah.
I want to watch. I definitely want to watch. The Thing. That's a good. That's a
I
good.
I would watch.
You never seen it, did you?
I've never seen it,
You never seen
which
it.
is probably a sin. It's probably a cardinal sin.
It is a cardinal sin, but we'll change that. Um,
Absolutely.
some good old stuff. Evil Dead 2, Candyman.
Candyman. Okay, I watched Candyman, and like, I know that people like, oh, this is like a cult classic. I don't get it.
It's just it's supposed to be like it's weird. I like it. I don't want to say
I
anything about it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's weird. I just for me, I couldn't get into it,
It's a
and
fun,
it's like I
creepy
don't care if people
movie.
like it. I just couldn't.
I like the
I don't know what.
bees that come out of the rib cage in the mouth.
I like when he comes out and he says, "Sweet sugar candy man," and then he
Then
goes,
he
and then he
shoots the
sings the whole
bees.
song.
I, I'm
Here's my sweet chocolate sugar coated candy man,
I'm
and then
definitely I'm split on Gremlins because I don't know, is that a Halloween movie or is that a Christmas movie?
yeah, that is a pretty
I
weird
think
one.
it's
I
a
mean,
Christmas movie. I think it's a Christmas
honestly,
movie along with Die Hard.
honestly, yeah, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Definitely.
If you don't believe it, you're wrong.
You are wrong,
Um,
actually. Yeah.
yeah, you're actually that is the one thing that you're not correct on. It's a Christmas movie. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Gremlins, I think is a classic. Gremlins ain't really scary, but like
Yeah, I think it's
Gremlins falls
definitely it's
it
funny
falls
though.
into that genre of like it's scary in the sense of and I'm learning to appreciate these movies more because like growing up, I was never really into these kind of movies. Like, because I was like, this isn't scary. Like, this wouldn't scare me. And
Yeah.
like, ladies and gents, I've always been a fan of horror, and I still am. I'm even in real life, like I am an avid skeptic of like the paranormal, but it's all stuff that interests me. And even in movies, this stuff has interested me for years. But like, I think as I've gotten older, like I've started to appreciate those movies more because it's like realistically another good one for me actually for this kind of like uncanny, not really scary, but like in theory it's kind of scary, is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That
Cuz
one
like
definitely it feels creepy, but I think it's more the poor acting
well
that
that
makes it
one
creepy. It's like the acting is
what's
terrible.
what scares me about Killer Clowns from Outer Space is that the movie itself, like you watch it and it's like, okay, this is like, come on, it's a joke. And it's like, yeah, it's a joke, but
It's still
there's
kind of
still elements.
scary.
Yeah, like there's still elements of it that are kind of creepy. Like
Yeah.
honestly, if you woke up or like if you looked out your window one night and you heard like this and you just saw these like huge creepy deformed Five Nights at Freddy's fucking Scott Cawthorn looking bastards walking down the street just gunning people down left and right with this crazy ass alien technology, turning them into fucking cotton candy and shit. Like, you would be scared.
I'd probably react in the same way that that guy did when the clown was making the jokes and he was just laughing like a fucking idiot.
I like when they start harassing the really tiny one and they take his bike.
Yeah,
It's such a weird movie.
it is a weird movie. I think it's a fun movie. I like it. It's I don't think it's scary. I'd say like on the same level, Beetlejuice is not scary. But it's fun. Little Shop of Horrors, same thing. It's very fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
it's very fun.
Evil
Yeah,
Dead
well,
2.
yeah, Beetlejuice is one that. Yeah, well, Evil Dead 2 is the one where he goes around, it goes back in time, right?
Yeah, it's more like campy sort of gore horror.
Yeah, it's like goofy horror.
I think I mean there's like actual like horror movies that are scary. I know The Thing is definitely like thing is horrifying. That's basically
Yeah, the
like
thing is supposed to be genuinely horrifying. Yeah.
it is, yeah. It definitely is for sure.
Mm,
I know
that one,
Alien.
yeah, Alien is always good. Aliens is good.
Halloween.
Okay, here's my thing. Actually, I do want to go into that really quick. Now that you brought up Halloween, I, for some reason, I cannot stand some like classic slasher movies. Some of them I just don't get.
Yeah.
Like, I tried to watch um the Scream series with a friend of mine. I
Yeah,
just don't get
Scream.
it.
I
I
don't
just
like
don't get
Scream.
it.
Scream is the only
Go
one where I'm just like I don't really care for this.
Ghostface, like, as a character, I think is really cool. But the movies themselves, like, I'm like, these are just not like I just found them maybe, I was in like middle school going into high school at the time. So like, I don't know, maybe if I sat down and watched them all, maybe my opinion would change now. But at the time I was like, these are not like I was like, I'm just not scared. These are not something that freak me out.
Yeah, it's really not.
Um, but even Halloween, like the first Halloween, I was like, that's it. Like with Mike Myers' like backstory, I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
But the new one, I guess it's not really now, but as of a couple, or was that last year or a year prior?
The newer Halloween?
Yeah, like the
I
most
think
recent one, like just was that last year?
that's got to be last year. That's got to
Oh,
be.
then never mind. Maybe yeah, I'm probably wrong then. That one I really like because like even Halloween, like I don't like the backstory of Mike Myers. I think it's like kind of stupid because it's just like, oh, this kid killed his family and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he's scary because like homeboy just like never dies. But like I thought that the movie itself was still really good, and I think that's just because it's like a classic.
It is a classic. I haven't seen it in a while though.
Um
I definitely want to re-watch that. That's the thing. I
Another good one, as always, Rocky Horror Picture Show, because that's just a classic.
that's
Not
another
even
one where I think it's not scary. It's more of just like a
it's
fun.
it's a fun, campy movie.
But to some people it might be scary. I don't know. I'm not scared of very many
Well, I
things.
think again, it's another one of those movies where it's scary to me in context of like if you were in that situation, it would be kind of
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
But it's like the actual movie itself. It's like, no, this is not scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I mean there's just a ton to list. I don't want to go through all of them, but there's definitely a few that I really want to
Oh
watch.
yeah, because we could save it for like a Halloween episode. Or I think if we were to do a Halloween episode, we could also talk about like I don't know, like paranormal stuff if we really wanted to, like things that we think are interesting, just topics in general
Yeah, that'll be for next
topic
week.
for this appropriate season.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just know that my favorite horror movie that's not really a horror movie, but it's still like it's scary because you whatever you try to kill doesn't die, like the zombies just don't die. Is
yeah.
Return of the Living Dead.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one
That's
actually.
hands down my favorite horror movie ever. And it's like a horror comedy because it makes fun of the source material of, like the Night of the Living Dead where the zombies come to life. And it's a sequel to it really because it's like, oh, they did experiments in that movie that because there's a whole scene at the beginning where it's like that movie Night of the Living Dead. That's based on
We're
a
going off
real.
the books.
Yeah,
We're going off the books, guys.
it's based on a real thing, and they brought the dead, bodies here, and then like they unbox the thing, and like the gas comes out, and you see these people slowly turn into zombies, and anything the gas touches ends up just because you see like the half cut, like the dog thing that's cut in half for learning purposes for vets and stuff.
And then Doug Walker comes out as Melvin.
Yes, and he's a zombie, and what they do is he's like running around screaming brains, and they chop
Yes.
him into pieces. They keep trying to kill him, and he just keeps saying, Melvin, Melvin, brother of the Joker. He doesn't fucking stop, and they cut him into pieces. They bring him to the guy, the mortician, and he's just like, yeah, we need to cremate this, and that's what leads to the entire thing happening. Is like they try and cremate the body, but it's raining, so all of the gas, the spooky zombie gas that comes from the body, goes up
Ooh,
into the
yeah.
air, and it goes down, it seeps into the ground, and turns all of the people in the cemetery into zombies. It's just very clever and very like funny and very cool, and also kind of scary.
I'm
and
definitely interested.
and there's also, I mean, that was also like the scene where I saw the titties. I think that was the first
Ooh,
time I saw movie titties.
and life was never the same.
And life was never the same. Oh my god, that kind of like shaped like who I thought was like attractive for like up till this day, honestly. The
Yeah,
the
no,
girl
that
from that
was.
movie, um
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying because I had a few of those.
I
And I was,
think,
oh,
what was her name? Her name, what was it? Trash? It was something like trash or rubbish or something.
trash.
Of the Living Dead cat. Oh, it was Trash. Her name is Trash.
Jesus.
And she's just like this short hair, redhead, um lady that ends up like stripping in a graveyard because she's like emo and obsessed with death, and she starts stripping, and you see her titties flying around, and she's having fun, she's dancing on gravestones, and then like the zombies end up like coming out the ground and biting her and she turns into one, and she's like running around as a zombie, like she turns into like a scary like witch zombie, but she still has her titties out, so you know
You know what movie I thought was pretty good that I guess actually yeah, I guess it's horror, but it's more of a thriller that I thought was pretty good.
hmm
I actually thought A Quiet Place was pretty good.
I have yet to see that movie. I want to see it, I just haven't seen it yet.
A Quiet Place I really liked just because the concept of the creatures I really like. Like this concept that they almost I mean, I won't explain too much of it if you haven't seen it, but they almost kind of look like have you watched Stranger Things?
Yeah.
They almost kind of look like demogorgons, but they have like
I just
their
see
body
them like as
types.
like spidery.
Well, like they have like I'd say they have similar bodies if I'm remembering correctly, but like they have like instead of having like a mouth, like their whole face splits apart and has like they almost act as like sensors, so if they hear something their face splits open and all of the pieces kind of point in the direction of wherever the sound is coming from,
Yeah.
and then they like go after whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like really cool stuff, but
I just
I
think the
think they
concept
used
of the movie is really good because it's the whole staying quiet makes for a quiet movie, which makes for you
better
know
suspense. And
better suspense. Yeah.
it's a really good way to make a movie suspenseful.
Yeah, it is.
Take notes, ladies and gentlemen.
Take notes, all you horror fanatics out there.
I'm also somebody when it comes to horror movies who, and a lot of people, some people agree with me, some people don't. I'm a big, I am a very big, um, found footage fan.
See, I think it can be done well, but in the end, I don't think that I'm very affected by that sort of thing because I know it's fake, and
Yeah,
it's hard for me to kind of get into that. Because all I do is get frustrated at the camera work and be like, "This fucking camera work sucks," and it's supposed to suck because it's found footage. But it's so distracting to me, me being so focused on like, the camera work, the sound effects,
yeah,
all that. So it's just a distraction for me to not really enjoy. There was one like, like fake home movies. I think it was called, well, it's called the it was like the house where the people. It's supposed to be found footage. The people's house get like visited by aliens. And what is that called?
Oh,
The something
I
abduction.
think I know what you're talking about. You think
This
about the fourth kind?
no, it's not a movie. It's like a fake like found footage thing. I don't think it's a movie. At least it's like the found footage abduction. I'm looking it up right now. The it's on YouTube. You can watch it all on YouTube.
Really?
It's there. It's something abduction because it's like that's it. The McPherson tape.
The
The
McPherson tape.
McPherson tape. The McPherson tape is the McPherson abduction, what it is called, the McPherson tape. It's like a fake found footage thing where it's like a home movie sort of thing where like the family is just like all together in the building and they're talking about stuff and you just see weird shit start happening around the house and you follow these guys going out and like they just go out to investigate and suddenly the person wouldn't come back. And it's like, what the fuck happened to them? Like they were there just a second ago. And the scariest part is like while the camera is rolling at a very bad angle inside the house, you just see like these tiny. I think they shoot an alien and they bring it inside. Like, what the fuck is this thing? Let's bring it inside. Call, yeah, pretty much call the police or call somebody, and they can't. The line's down, and then all of a sudden, like it's gone and then you just see like the camera being put away at this weird angle and you see three more like come out of the doorway where they put the thing and it escaped and then it just ends and it scared the shit out of me when I watched it the first time.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it because I feel like I know what you're talking about.
It's on YouTube. You can watch it. I'm pretty sure I saw it on YouTube. um the McPherson tape, something like that. I'm spending too much time looking stuff up, but I recommend that one. That was very very fun. Alien abduction official trailer. See, now that I'm looking for it, I can't find it, which is very
Huh,
weird.
very odd.
I know people talked about Fire in the Sky being the scariest alien abduction movie, and I thought it sucked. The movie didn't suck, but like the scene that everyone loses their shit over, I thought that was completely like honestly wasn't worth watching the entire film. It was very bleh.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
think
people just get creeped out with like needles being put in eyes and stuff. I was just like,
that weirds me out. That like absolutely weirds me out.
it's just I wasn't impressed. I was kind of like, well, really? This is the thing that everyone's fucking scared of? Really?
I
Are you?
remember like the movie I still think is interesting because it's apparently based off true stories. Oh, oh, I'm sorry. But the like this movie freaks me out because it's apparently based off true stories, but the actual like some people don't like this movie. I kind of like it. But the fourth kind I always thought was pretty good.
I haven't seen that one.
That one's pretty good because it's literally like that's apparently based off real situations.
I
And
know
it's
Fire in the Sky is as well, because like the whole abduction where the guy just went missing for a while and came back completely changed and disturbed.
yeah. Well, that goes
Aliens scare me. Like I will say that because they're we don't know like what they do or what they are, or if they're real or if they're not. It's just it's scary to me. The aliens.
there's not a doubt in my mind that there's probably something out there. But this actually makes me think of what I was talking to you about last week. I think like this idea where like people seem to have because like I find ghosts interesting and I like the idea of ghosts interesting and I find the idea of aliens interesting. I'm still very much a skeptic person. Like somebody could tell me a ghost story and I'm still kind of like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
But same with aliens too. I mean, but I notice a lot that there's always people who are like, "Oh, well, it's one or the other." And it's like, well, no, like I don't understand why people are always like, oh well, either aliens exist or ghosts exist. It can't be both.
Yeah, I think we had this conversation before. I think absolutely both can exist. It's just
Yeah,
we're over
I think
2 hours now.
yeah, I think that we have some good stuff,
I think we
and I
do have
think,
some good stuff.
ladies and gentlemen, again, we apologize for getting a little off topic tonight, but I think we kept things very close to movies.
I won't apologize. I'm not going to apologize to any of you. You're listening to this for free. And
Yeah, no,
honestly, you owe
you know what,
us. You owe
you
us.
gotta
So
get
like,
behind.
you can't complain. You can't really say anything. You just kind of owe us all of this that you're wasting your time with. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
no, you know what? We had a good time. We had a good talk. We had a good conversation, and we talked about some good stuff. We talked about some bad stuff. We talked about movies that we like. We talked about don't like. And you know what? We're gonna do a lot more of that. We're gonna have a lot more of this soon, and it'll be fun to hear and fun for people to enjoy with their ear holes. I hope at least. I mean, I hope people like it.
You're selling this podcast more than I am, and I'm the one recording it and editing it.
Yeah, and doing all the hard work.
Well, doing all the work that comes after the talking.
Yeah.
But
Which I mean,
no, I if anyone is actually listening to this, I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to just talking more and having people listening on our stupid bullshit and give us the time of day. Because honestly,
yeah,
what is our is our opinions really worth? Honestly, not much.
maybe to somebody, a whole bunch,
If it's a
Zach.
whole bunch to you, then goddamn, seek
I'm
help.
gonna give you a big fat kiss on the cheek,
Yeah, I'll give you a sloppy wet kiss on your brow.
right on the brow, my
Right on the
boss.
brow line, only the brow. I'm not going to go anywhere underneath the brow, and if you ask for that, I will block you on Twitter and YouTube.
Yeah, I will be reporting you to the authorities. You will be,
I'll report you to the cyber police, and you will be arrested. You
and they
done
will
goofed.
trace it.
They will. I
Yeah,
will. I'll do all of that.
you will. I will. We all will.
It's raining right now. I'm real at peace. I'm at ease. My soul
And
is.
actually, I'm very much a fan of this.
I think it's gonna continue raining for a little bit. I think at the end of this here podcast, after we talked about movies for 2 hours and also other bullshit that had nothing to do with movies, um I think we should just clarify a few things. We are from New England, specifically Boston,
Yeah, we live in the Boston area.
Massachusetts, or as I like to say, massive two shits.
Massive two shits.
Because if
Yes.
you live here, you understand real quick that nobody gives a massive two shits about you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
Especially colleges.
especially
Mm.
that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, that's where we live. We went to college here. We didn't go
In
anywhere fancy. We didn't go to fucking California or Florida.
we should have, because that would have been kind of cool.
I would have preferred to go to France if I'm gonna be honest.
That would have been cool too. I would have
That
gone.
has way better animation than anywhere else in the fucking world.
I actually
France.
do agree with that.
France is lovely and beautiful, and I want to visit there.
Um,
Sometime. I
just-
speak a little bit. I'm not gonna. I'm rusty. I can't like switch between English and French. I need to get like I need to like turn it on. You know, because it's a different like I have to like
on, clap off,
yeah, French on, French off.
French on, French off.
And I'm not gonna attempt it and embarrass myself. So you just have to take my word for it. I do speak French to some degree. I'm not great.
Guys, listen, listen, listen. Please, I am not lying to you. I am not lying to you.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I can.
you know,
Yeah.
and I know it for sure. I know it for certain. I've heard it with my own eyes.
I just don't know what to say really. What should I say?
Um,
Don't do anything too hard. I don't know that many words.
hello, my name is Zachary.
Should I say that formally or informally?
You can do both. Give us a little
Um,
example. Give us a little taste.
Salut, je suis Zachary. Comment ça va? And I guess that's just informal. I probably got something wrong in there, but formally, I know formally better than informally. Bonjour, je m'appelle Zachary. Enchanté de te rencontrer, which means pleasure to
Damn.
meet you. Most people
Damn.
just say enchanté. Informal. I forgot to say
Yeah,
enchanté,
something.
but fully it's enchanté de te rencontrer.
That's awesome. I gotta brush up on the only language I know is Italian because I'm Italian, and
I'm not.
I'm not.
So if you hate Italians, then you only hate half of the podcast cast here.
Yeah, so if you hate stinky little wops, that's me.
Yeah,
Um,
little wet ass pussy, little jiggling
yeah,
fat pussy.
no wop. You see, like WOP. See, I was the original wop before wop. Um, but that's me. And so I know, like, I don't know. I did Italian all throughout my life, and I'm really bad at keeping up a conversation. But like, if I could read, like, if somebody gave me a sentence to read, I could, and I could
Yeah,
for the most part, could understand, like, generally what. Oh my god, sorry. Generally, what it's trying to say.
we should do a complete like different language podcast and try our best to carry conversation in two different languages that we don't understand mutually.
So hard.
That'd be so we just be having our own conversations to ourselves and pretending that the other
We
said exactly what we expected them to.
we should do an April 1st podcast where we just make up a language, and it's just like us sitting here for like 3 hours, just being like,
Oh, you see what couples come in with it?
That would be fun. I'd do that. I would do that. That'd
Oh,
be
I saw that. Tips go to. Scurry.
let's do the Mario and Luigi fucking.
yeah. That's just fucking made up gibberish. I know because I learned French in high school and I just kind of like kept up with it. I was a good student. I got like 100th place in like a national French test or something. No,
That's
I got like 90 something, and I have the medal for it too.
oh wow.
But I don't remember. I just started getting back into speaking, like practicing French again because I do want to move to France at some point. And I know
I
Portuguese because I know Portuguese. I don't speak it. I don't know how to speak it. I don't know proper grammar or words, but I know if someone's speaking Portuguese, I know what they're saying.
that's pretty cool.
Because my mom was from Portugal, and I don't. My dad's from Egypt, but I don't understand or speak Arabic at all, whatsoever. Don't ask me to. I can't.
Dang.
I
Well, you
just
should learn. I want to learn. I want to learn Gaelic because that's the other one where like.
Gaelic, Gaelic.
Pretty funny, is it? I
Dude,
know. I get.
you just
I
owned
know.
yourself. You just kind of owned yourself there. I
Let me tell.
that's
I know. I'm
Gaelic.
sorry. I know. I'm sorry. Um.
Honestly, I'd like to learn a lot of languages. I want to learn how to speak Spanish. I want to learn how to speak Portuguese properly. I want to learn Arabic a little bit. I want to
Gaelic's always been interesting to me because it's one of those yeah it's one of those ones um that I mean it's basically a dead language, so it's like there are people who still know it, um but people don't really like speak it as much anymore. I think there's still places in Ireland people strictly speak,
Yeah, probably. So what you're
but
saying is you want to infiltrate that and pollute the gene pool
yes,
with your Italian spermies.
yeah, it'd be funny.
It'd be kind of funny, and honestly, I'd laugh.
Kind of epic, honestly.
You show up like looking all handsome and devilish and being like, "Hey, I gay lick. I lick gay." And just completely polluting their gene pool full of, Italian little squirmers.
That's me. I'm one of those.
And turn them all Italian, and then no longer anyone nobody speaks Gaelic anymore.
I love
It's all
that.
bubbly boopy.
Italian little squirmers. I'm
It's
very
very
torn on whether
insensitive.
or not I want to have kids, but if I ever do have kids,
If anything, I'd have them by accident.
I wanna have a kid and just call him my Italian little
Like,
squirmer.
if I ever had a kid, just assume that it wasn't on purpose, it was an accident, because I don't think I'd make that conscious decision. It'd just kind of be like, uh-oh, oops, all children. Whoopsie.
Oops, at all children.
Oopsie.
Whoopsie dips.
That would be a big oopsie. I don't
No.
think I want kids. Maybe one day, like when I'm old and frail, I have to put my toys and my video games somewhere. I'd probably just have a kid just as an excuse to one, keep buying them, and two, give them to someone when I get bored of them and feel good about that purchase.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because like I'll purchase something and be like, I'm bored of this, I wasted my money. But instead, I could just be like, I'm bored of this. Let me give it to my kid. Because kids are stupid. They love everything.
Yeah, it's very true, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, they're
So
fucking
it
idiots.
just kind of be like my moral dumping ground to when I get bored of things and no longer get enjoyment from something, I'll just give it to a kid and be like, see, now I did something good because I did this selfless act of sacrifice and charity and other good qualities and people.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good boy.
good boy.
Good.
10 out of 10, good boy.
That's what they call me. But yes, that is one small trivia of us. And if you want to hear more, then tune into all the other podcasts where we'll just explain more shit about ourselves that nobody really asked for.
Exactly. And I think that's fine.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think,
that's a little place to end it. We can get to the
yeah,
point where we have no longer anything to talk about, so we'll just be like, "Hey, so this week I ended up stepping on a spider, and it was gross, and that was it."
yeah.
That's where it will end up eventually.
We're just gonna get burnt out to the point where that's all we have to talk
That's all
about.
he has to.
But yeah, I think
We're gonna have a complete bug squishing episode.
it's just gonna be Zach's bug review.
Yeah.
Review.
So I
Review.
stepped on the
And gentlemen,
centipede.
I stepped on a centipede today and it shot venom in my foot and I was freaking pissed off.
Yeah, it kind of ruined my day, but I didn't have work that day, so I just kind of just put it up, did some work on the computer.
I found out recently, I think it's centipedes have venom.
Yeah.
I hate them.
I mean, they
I
do. They have
I'm not
venom.
I'm not afraid of I'm not that afraid of bugs. They're the only bug that's like they there has to be something else to this world, like whether it's an afterlife, a god, a Satan, or something, because something something allowed that to exist. And it wasn't me, because I wouldn't allow that to.
Yeah,
Something evil let that exist.
I would let everything exist as it is, but give it like a gigantic dump truck ass.
I would let everything exist the way it is, but I would want everyone's eyes, like everything's eyes, to be at least 5% bigger.
5%'s yeah. Five
Because that'd be
percent's all
like
right.
it would be noticeable, and in some cases would probably be pretty.
Yeah, I think
But
it'd
it's also
be
not
pretty
enough
good.
where it's,
I'd support that.
or I'd put googly eyes on everything, so it'd just be
Just to be funny.
yeah, just a little prank.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna end the podcast because we're almost at 2 hours and 30 minutes.
yeah, I'm also quite tired as well.
Yeah, that's gonna take me forever to. But I think we got our goodbyes out of the way.
Yeah.
All right,
Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
see ya.
Sleep, sweet dreams. Come on back soon. Come back to the bar soon. We'll miss you.
Come back next week.
Yeah, we'll
I'll
find. And if you can't find us, trust me, we'll find you.
we will find you. That's a promise.
Yeah, and that's not a threat. Or it's not really meant to be taken any sort of. It's just we will find you.
We'll find you. Goodbye.